Good morning, everybody. Good morning. No music today. Had to give up the tablet. So it's just going to be a little bit of a drier show, quicker show too. Only two games last night. Do me the favor, like and retweet the show card. It is cold. I am. I had to move my studio. My dad is in for Christmas, and the regular studio room is not insulated. It is about 8 degrees in my studio room. So I'm in the room above my garage, which is also not insulated. And it's about 15 degrees in the room that I'm doing the show in. So it's only going to be maybe an hour or so. I'm not going to be sitting here in the freezing cold for too much longer. Hopefully, wherever you are safe, you are home, you are warm, because I'm telling you now, if you are caught up in this storm, it is miserable. -7 where I'm at, broadcasting right now in central Indiana. So all of you who are in this storm, don't go out. It's not worth it unless you absolutely have to. All right. Want to give a huge shout out to Malika Walker of the Rewind Pod. Had a phenomenal discussion last night about the Larry Bird era Celtics. We'll get that replay up here so you can catch that like a podcast because it's absolutely dope. Justin Patton was in the building, our YouTube coordinator, also a Celtics fan, helping her go through what was, the one of the greatest eras of professional basketball. So make sure to check that out when we get up there. I want to say what's up to Julian. Yeah, he actually got the very first order put in from the Hoop Spaces merch store. So shout out to him. I'd give you a point, but I don't have the soundboard today. Shout out to Santa Rosa and those Toronto Raptors. It's been an interesting week. We'll probably see more of what Masai Ujiri has in store as they are linked to several players throughout the league. We have Nick's takes in the building. The people don't like to admit when they're wrong, right? I said in the beginning of the year, I said in the off season, a lot of you will not like to hear it, but the Knicks got better. Now look where the Knicks are relative to other teams that we had thought might be contenders for an actual playoff seed. Like it's really cool to see this resurgence in the Big Apple. 6 of the 12 is in the building. Diehard Pelicans fans, make sure you shoot them a follow as they continue to go ahead and try to break through the barrier that is the Golden State Warriors and Phoenix Suns out in the West. They were victorious last night over the San Antonio Spurs. We'll get into that, as well as the Jazz beating the Wizards in what was probably um, the most boring game that I've seen in the last week or so. It was real boring. All right, if you could do me a favor, like and retweet the show card. We'll get to it. I'll be back in about 15, 20 seconds. In the meantime, maybe this will play. I have no idea. It's jazzy. All right. Hi. Good morning. Welcome. No soundboard today. Twitter is also bugging. I thought I'd been talking for like a good 2 minutes. Whew, -7 degrees where I'm at. The studio that I'm at right now is 15 degrees. I hope you all are staying warm. 6 of the 12 is up here. Bankai is up here. Rels Pels, I see you. Justin Patton down below. Sage, Kent, good morning. What's up, Heedles? Good to see you. EK on vacation. Yeah, we're jealous. Those of us who know, we're jealous. Because trust me, this weather, uh, is for the birds, literally. All right, hey, short show. I'm not trying to get sick, but I do want to talk some ball. We've got two games to talk about, and then I want to ask a legit question. What is the best duo in the NBA? I've got a duo in mind. I'm going to put that up there, and we're going to hear what your thoughts are. But good morning to the three up here on stage. We have Bon Kai, 6 of the 12, and my man Ray Ray. We'll also say what's up to a couple other people who might be popping in as the entertainment world gets ready to slow down. NBA Christmas is picking up. Might have a couple of friends of mine pop through as you know, they're trying to support me and what I'm trying to build. As I get ready for maybe some big news in a couple weeks. 6 of the 12, the Pelicans had the first game. They were winners, 126-117. CJ McCollum dropped 40 in the win. You had Trey Murphy, JV, Herb Jones, and Willie Hernan-Gomez all in double figures. It was a pretty easy win. You jumped out 20 in the first quarter, never looked back. Some sloppy defense at the end of the game in garbage minutes, but that's to be expected. How you doing? Hope you're staying warm. What you got for the game last night?
Hey, Chris, good morning. Everybody retweet the show card up on the big board. Just want to say Merry Christmas, man. I mean, we're not going to be able to talk to you over the weekend. So I just want to wish you and your family happy holidays and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I hope your 2023 is everything that you want.
Oh,
So
appreciate that.
that's really what I just wanted to say, man. I mean, the Pelicans game, I mean, it's the Spurs, so it is nice to bounce back from four straight losses. I can't lie. It's not a good feeling when you lose four straight, even though, as we're seeing around the NBA, that is happening as of late. But no, I mean, CJ came to play last night. You can finally tell that his legs are starting to finally get back underneath him from missing his games. No Zion last night. CJ almost had a triple double last night as well. I think he had 9 assists, 8 rebounds to go along with that. So it was a good game. Like I said, it's the Spurs, so we can't put too much stock into it, but it definitely was nice to get back in the W column.
Yeah, I appreciate the Christmas wishes. I don't think I'll do a show on Christmas, but I know I'll do the show after Christmas because we've just got too much to talk about. I might even actually pop on Christmas night, depending on how some of the games go. If you are wanting to give me a Christmas gift, I definitely appreciate a couple of things. Cash or buying a hoodie, so make sure you check up on the Hoop Spaces merch store. Put in your purchase for a hoodie. But hey, like if you want, I'll drop my Cash App now. Y'all could bless my Christmas with that, so I can buy a new soundboard because I think this one's going on the fritz. Appreciate it, 6 to 12. Yeah, I watched the game entirely. I'm not gonna lie, I watched it more to see what San Antonio was going to do without Keldon Johnson, who's a late scratch. Romeo Langford got to start in for him. Devin Vassell had 10. He's lost his shot since the beginning of the season. Their rookies, Jeremy Sohan, he's going to be a good player if he can be consistent. He had 23, 9, and 6 and played great defense. Out of those 9 rebounds, 6 of them were offensive rebounds. This kid is a live wire, 2 for 4 from deep too, so he's going to be able to spread the floor. And he might be what ends up being more in the Pascal Siakam mold of what a future small ball offensive floor is going to look like. Jakob Poeltl, 13 points. He was going to be out rebounded by the Pelicans front court, but he was 6 for 9 in 22 minutes. And it's interesting to see what San Antonio is doing in terms of the rebuild. You can tell that they are starting to work some of the younger players in. As well as their trade candidates. They got Doug McDermott and Jason Richardson playing, 17 to 20 minutes. Zach Collins is getting 18. So they are officially flashing the for sale sign. So I actually kind of expect them to be one of the first teams to make moves. And that is also with signing Stanley Johnson, who's been bouncing around people's rosters. Usually when you start seeing vets who were those borderline on the roster vets the previous year, like Stanley Johnson for the Lakers, that's when you start seeing teams get ready to make some moves. So before we move on and ask other people their thoughts, what moves 6 of the 12 are you wanting your Pelicans to make?
Um, Man, I look, I can't lie. I would give up, and this may not be popular in the Pelicans, fans takes, but um, I wouldn't say I would do pretty much anything to get him, but I would love to get Walker Kessler
Oh, that's
from
just not going to
the
happen.
Pelicans. Well, I know that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I would give up multiple picks, multiple young players. They can have Jackson. Look, you see a game like last night. Jackson plays hard. He runs the floor. He's playing decent defense. It's just like it hurts because like that could be the kind of guy that we need right now to come in for us and help when Jonas right is like slow footed and on defense. It's like that's what we hope to get from Jackson, right? It's like that rim protection to be able to switch. Um, and I just feel like that's what we need right now on our defense because Larry Nance is very good, right? But he's too small to play against some of those big time, guys down low. So it's just like that's what I would like to see. It's not going to happen, right? It's just I would like to see Jackson develop. Either that or we got to use him as a trade piece. But I think that's what we need. We need a big five or a backup five. That can move around. So we can, play Larry Nance with a small ball five, but we need a bigger five that can move.
Walker Kessler was drafted by Memphis and traded in the flurry of trades that Utah made. Also targeted specifically by Danny Ainge. I actually had Walker Kessler in the top 10 of my draft. I had him like at number 8. He is going to do exactly what Rudy Gobert did. Like
Right.
once he becomes a
So
starter and hits that 30-minute plateau, you're talking 10 to 14 points, 12 to 14 boards, 2 blocks for the next decade. It's just hilarious.
yeah, so like I said, like I'm an LSU fan, right? And he played at Auburn with Jabari Smith, and I just remember him. I mean, he had like 10 or 12 blocks against us last year in college, and I was like, dude, like there was nothing that we could do. And honestly, that's kind of who I was like hoping the Pelicans would pick. I'm happy with the Dyson Daniels pick, but um, he's kind of just been like one of those guys that I've been wanting for a while now, and I think that's just kind of the piece that we're missing is somebody that can stop people from just coming to the lane
Well,
and
I'm
burning.
telling you, if that's the case, you might want to call San Antonio, the team you just beat, and go ahead and give them a young player in the first rounder for Jakob Poeltl. That's exactly who you're asking for. I think Walker's going to be better, but his fits, his 9 mil, you can afford it. But you might view it also as short-sighted because, it might not work out the way you think. But I like it. I like that you know what the Pelicans need. I'd be interested to see what Rails Pels might think. But I agree. You are a defensive big away. Um, Whether it's going to come at the 5 or the 4 is really up to Willie Green. Other thing that they need is they need one more shooter. Like, no offense, Gary Temple, love you. You've had a hell of a career. You ain't it. Devontae Graham, stop it. Like, I love you too, man. You busted ass from Kansas through Charlotte. No one gave you love. But unless you can learn to be consistent and do your corner 3 thing, you ain't it either. They are short one shooter, and I think once Brandon Ingram comes back, you put Murphy back on the bench, you're still short one shooter. It doesn't matter. All right, Von Kai, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Chris. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing well and happy holidays. Wish you the best. And 6 of the Pels 12. I heard what you need, but might I interest you in Isaiah Hartenstein and Evan Fournier, even though you don't need them? Just
Why
saying.
would why
I don't know. I'm just
why
saying.
why would they want that?
Just saying. I'm just randomly. Just maybe they just want them. I don't know.
You know what though?
Juan
A
Cam Reddish?
Devontae Graham, Jackson Hayes for Evan Fournier trade might not that be bad of an idea for New Orleans.
Hey, I mean, bring up Sean. I'm sure he'll say it's not. It wouldn't be that bad at this point. You know.
Well, I mean, you'd be talking about getting a point guard that Tibbs wouldn't want to play, and a power forward center that's like Jericho Sims, but like 20 pounds less.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's not like we use Evan Fournier for anything other than warm up the bench at this point. I mean, he
Like,
doesn't do anything. He doesn't
you
even get
think-
in garbage time.
If you think it's bad when Julius and RJ are on their chuck-a-ball campaign and they're just taking threes that are bad, wait till you put Devontae Graham on them. It's gonna be great.
I've seen the fall off for that guy, man. It's crazy. He went from being a very good, rotational player and everything, and with the Hornets to just, the fall off is crazy.
He led the Hornets in points, assists, and steals for like 90 games for over a season. He just shot at 38%. So there you go.
Do you think he'll ever get his footing again? Like maybe a team takes a chance on him and.
Oh yeah, as a backup, sure.
Okay.
He makes $11 million. He's a qualified backup in the league.
I remember when he came into the Garden a few times and just killed us, man. That game winner he had that one time.
He makes $11 million.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, he's Devontae Graham.
Sean, remember that game winner he had at the Garden?
I remember that game.
Why are you mad that he makes 11? Aren't you paying Derrick Rose 13?
Derrick Rose is a legend.
Derrick Rose isn't expiring, though.
Oh my gosh, you gonna call him a legend? A New York Knicks legend?
I didn't say New York Knicks legend. I said legend. Don't put words in my mouth.
Okay.
And he is an expiring contract too. So.
And are we comparing Devontae Graham to Derrick Rose on Rihanna's internet? Is that what we're doing?
Well, you yes, that is what we're doing because they're playing the same role.
Yeah,
that's nasty.
Hey, I got to say something to Knicks Take Jake down there. Please, no positive tweets from you because last time you tweeted something positive, we lost.
Bankai, what is wrong with you, man?
It was my fault. The game is the loss. It's my fault. It's my fault. It's not Knicks Take Jake's fault. It's my fault because I was talking cash.
Okay, sorry, Knicks Take Jake.
I was talking cash shit about the Raptors for a month, and of course they came through and crushed the building. So it's my fault.
Pascal Siakam personally had a vengeance against Sean with a W, so he dropped 52 on Sean's favorite player.
I will say this: when Malik, I said it yesterday, when Julius decided there was going to be a drop coverage type of defensive day, I was like, all right, I see where we're going tonight. Not stepping. We're not going around. We're not going over no screens. Okay, here we go.
But see what? No, we don't want anybody dying on any hill about the Knicks right now because we're not talking Knicks.
You're right.
What are we talking about?
I was trying to get good mornings, but Bankai is so daggone depressive right now. He's like, my Knicks still lost. And I'm like, get over it, Bankai.
Oh, no, I'm focused on the game for tonight.
Except that you're telling the dude, don't put anything positive out there. Like, who does that?
You know what it is? Okay, so Knicks Take Jake is known as being the negative Nancy, one of the negative Nancys of Knicks Twitter, right? I love this guy.
Just like he clicks violence, man. Like there's zero filter.
This is even show killing. This is like show just like explosion. Like
hold up. So
this is Stu Gatz level. Like you are literally being Stu Gatz.
It is Stu Gatzian, very Stu.
Chris, so he finally put out a nice tweet about Jalen Brunson, right? Which it caught everybody by surprise.
He's still doing it. What are you? Like Nick's taking his hand trying to get like he's like Bankai. There you go. What's up, Jake?
Well, first I'll say good morning, everyone. I'm in Dallas right now. I'm freezing my ass off as well. Spent the last couple days wrapping up all my pipes, covering all my bushes. Pause. So look,
Wait a minute. We're not gonna let that one.
Yes, we are. He paused. We move it. We move. He wraps his bushes. Pause. Keep going.
No.
I just want to talk basketball. I can't even get there. Like, I'm trying. It's like it's right there. Like, you're trying to reach for that last cookie, and then like your son comes in and bumps, and then the cookie falls behind the refrigerator, and it's over. Like, it's over. Even if you were to get the cookie, you aren't eating it because who the hell knows what's behind your refrigerator? Because like we don't clean it behind as much as we should, and it's just over. Like, that's how I feel, man. Like, Jake, how you doing? You
I'm doing
okay?
well, man. I'm doing
Awesome.
well. Yeah, my apologies. That like I swear to God I didn't even plan that, but it is what it is. But yeah, Bonkai and Sean come up here. I listen to Hoop Spaces on the daily, and I hear that there's a little bit of a civil war going on with the Knicks right now. I just happen to be what I call on the realism side of it, that there are still some areas of improvement for this team to make. And really, what it comes down to is that I don't trust Leon Rose or Tom Thibodeau to, make those correct decisions going forward. That's just my opinion, though, right? So Bankai is correct. I did put out a positive tweet about Jalen Brunson, which I've been positive about Jalen Brunson throughout the whole season. So like, let's not pretend there. But I feel like there are things that you can pull out of this season, and this team, like Jalen Brunson becoming that alpha, becoming the leader, because we desperately needed it. Julius Randle is not a leader on a championship caliber team, so let's not pretend there. However, there's been a little bit of a battle within the fan base. So, I'm gonna stay on my side. I'll tell you right now, I got my 2K set up right now. I started a new season. I'll just kind of give you a foundation of what I'm doing with the team right now. Lonnie Walker and Patrick Beverly are on my team, and also Kevin Knox is on my team right now, and we're tanking right now. So I just simmed through the season, and we're about to get in this draft, and we're about to get better. Let's get it.
Wow. Wow. Like, I don't get it, but like, okay. Because if you look up top, and Sean shared it before I was able to get to it, the efficiency ratings are out. The updated efficiency ratings are out. And if you look, there's something that stands out, and it's a lot of blue and orange.
Number
Sean,
one with a bullet.
I remember saying to people who doubted me, and I love people who doubt me because I like being right. Sean can attest to that too. I said it might not correlate to the record at first, but the Knicks got definitively better. Not marginally better. Not a little itty bit better. Not one of them small marshmallows you give your kids in the hot chocolate better, but like demonstratively better. Better that you could actually see it. Maybe we are now just seeing the start of them actually being better. Now that doesn't mean they're going to be, super above 500 going into the playoffs, but like we've now seen what the ceiling might be. Sean, go ahead.
So I'm gonna tell a quick story. I'm gonna see if I can find. I'm gonna see if I can find it. So my Raptors shit talking started when the efficiency rankings came out on November 4th, and I posted in the middle, and I posted in Jumbotron, and the Knicks were bang average right in the middle, and the homie Santa Rosa, who's down there, retweeted like, "Ha ha! Look at the Knicks, they're mid where they're supposed to be," and so that is what started the damn it, you're mid too. You just don't realize it. And look what has happened since then. Now, of course, the Raptors beat the Knicks. I can't really talk that much shit, but I just like to give them a back. That's the story of why I've been banging on the Raptors so hard, because we caught a stray from the Raptors fans for no reason. So that's all I want to say. But the Knicks are number one for Bullet. I don't expect it to stay there. And Jake, good luck. Let me know what happens in the draft lottery, and when you slip down to 4, It's karma, baby. Let's go.
Karma
Well,
on 2K. That's amazing.
so if I can respond real fast, I
I'll
made the
give you 30
mistake.
seconds. Yeah.
So I made the mistake of not firing Tom Thibodeau, and the CPU kept changing the rotation while I was simulating. So I just looked up, and my bum ass team made the play-in. So I'm in a bit of a predicament right
So
now. It looks like Tom Thibodeau took back over.
How many minutes did your starting five play? Like, what was their season average? I need to know.
That might take me a second to pull up. I know I had 30 seconds, but
This is really scary.
that we're breaking down
it's
2K rosters.
I just want to know.
it's not that scary, Chris.
Yes.
It's not that
No,
scary.
this is scary, man. This is like
It's not.
I just want
It's
to know.
not, Chris, because you can attest to this, that there needs to be a plan going forward. I think that's what the majority of the people on my side are worried about, is what is the plan going forward? How are we gonna, I'm not debating that we've gotten a lot better. I agree. I think Jalen Brunson has brought more than just stability at the point guard position. However, what is the avenue going forward? And a lot of people that are happy and content right now are ignoring the fact that we still have Tom Thibodeau and Leon Rose riding the ship.
the poll's out. Is this scary? Yes or no? Please vote. I find this absolutely scary that we're breaking down 2K by starters minutes per game.
No, I just want to
There
know.
were
I
two
just want to
games
know if people.
yesterday, Chris. What else do you want
What a
us to talk about?
surprise! The Knicks fans have derailed the show again. What a
He's
surprise!
not even a Knicks fan. It was the
Show
Heat fan that
killer.
derailed it.
No,
He's
no,
like,
no.
I gotta know. How do you need to know? It's a video game.
I want to know if it's accurate, man. I want to know if they're playing 49 minutes a
Oh
game.
my gosh, Ray.
I didn't see none of the games last night, so I'm not useful for anything.
Oh, I watched both, and I actually I wanted to say, like, I had Walker Kessler in my top 10, and I think he's going to make several teams regret not drafting him, like Chicago, Atlanta.
Chris,
What?
are we about to witness the greatest coaching battle in history on Christmas Day? Tom Thibodeau against Doc Rivers?
No, because Tom Thibodeau's not great. He's just a dude. Like, I hate to burst your bubble. All right,
I see what you did there.
I know. I do it all the time. We're gonna say what's up to Ray, and then we got JFK. Ray, good morning. How you doing?
I'm freezing.
Yes,
It is cold in a witch's city in a brass bra out here.
it's cold. I'm in this wonderful warm Hoop Spaces hoodie, which you can actually purchase for $45 at the Hoop Spaces merch store. The link is up there. Go ahead, buy one. They're warm.
I am actually in a Playbook Sports hoodie that you can purchase for $29.99 from Playbook Sports website. Shout out
Undercutting
Playbook
someone on their own show was crazy.
Yeah, right. That's just
You know I love you, Chris. But every time I gotta get on the deal, you're posting some stuff.
See, now karma's hitting you because I can't hear anything you said.
It's probably because I put my finger over the mic.
Why would you do that?
I don't know, man. Look, all I gotta say is the Heat are still bad. They're so bad. The last time I came in here and talked to y'all, I kind of said that we needed to make 2 to 3 moves. I've moved off of that slightly and just dropped it down to 2. The steps that Victor Oladipo has been taking every single game that he comes in, while they're not all-star steps, they are serviceable NBA's two-way player steps that we desperately as a team need. So now you can kind of cut off some of the fat for what you need in terms of trying to make yourself useful. But at the same time, I still do not believe that we are going to move off of where we came from. We're just going to kind of coast through the season. I thought, honestly, because you talked about Stanley Johnson earlier, that the Heat were actually going to consider bringing him up because I saw at one point that we had signed him to a two-way contract and stuck him in Sioux Falls. But I guess we hurried up and moved off of that because I never saw anything afterwards. But I figured that would kind of coincide more with the Heat's plan or narrative, whatever you want to call it. going forward, the only thing that you can really take from this season as of now, like just right now, like because we still have what 50 games left to go. Some of y'all have 55 or so. Um, but one of the things is I can take from this season and be happy about is the internal development that you got from Bam and you got from Tyler, and as a bonus, you also got it from Caleb Martin, who when last year when we brought him in, he was one of those guys that nothing but heat wherever he's at. Shout out to Scott would call a borderline NBA player, and Caleb is turned into just a flat out NBA player. I mean, he's shooting close to 40% from. I think he's actually shooting 39% from three. He's really kind of expanded his bag and the things that he's been able to do. Um, so it's just nice to see that type of internal development, especially from the people that were, they were in the offseason. There was a lot of run it back talk. Make sure that we'll be fine. We've got enough, and obviously we don't. But you still see from your what's really going to be your core going forward. I don't know about Caleb, but Tyler and Bam, you know, and Jimmy for the next couple of years, like you're seeing this development that you want and that you've expected from those two. So it's just kind of frustrating to see that we have talent on the top end like we do, but we can't put anything together because I mean Max is shooting historically like worse than anything Duncan did all last year. And the funny thing is the fan base doesn't even slander him the way that we just tore Duncan apart last year.
Oh,
Dedmon
that's
is
because
not.
Duncan makes like 17 to 18 mil a year.
I know, but like this is the thing. Like Miami's fan base is kind of. I don't want to call us wishy washy, but like when things are good, they're good. When things are bad, it's we
Bro,
fixing it.
like, you don't have to worry about it, Ray. When things are bad, people leave before halftime.
Yeah, I know.
If they
Like
don't get there till the second quarter.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hold on. What are we talking about? Hold on.
And
Oh, don't
well, I
lie.
mean,
You ain't got to lie to kick it,
no.
JF. We've seen what it looks like in Miami when they're bad.
The only thing I'll say is there's only like two ways into unnamed arena for Miami. Shout out FTX. I wish they would just go ahead and take the Bang Bros offer and be the BGX.
God, no.
But that's beside the point.
All right, wrap it up so I can get JS in here.
You need to move Kyle Lowry to the bench. People are going to look at me and be like, what the fuck do you mean? That starting lineup does not work with Kyle Lowry. Like we keep going. Miami Heat fans keep going back to this nonsense about like Tyler and Kyle can't work. Okay, then move Kyle to the bench, and stop with this nonsense about move Lowry or Hero back to the bench because it doesn't help Hero's development. You're already knowing that you're going to get rid of Lowry anyway, so move him to the bench. Allow him to operate with the guys that cannot operate for themselves, and allow him to do what he wants to do with that unit anyway, and you might be able to find some semblance of an offense that does not look like a middle school girls basketball team.
All right.
The Heat, shout out Playbook Sports Network, and shout out you, Chris. Stay warm. I hope your soundboard works again soon.
Yeah, no, I hope so too. Appreciate it, Ray. JF, hop up in here. What are your thoughts real quick on the Heat?
Good morning, Chris. I think the previous speaker before me, he was doing a good job until he said that Kyle Lowry comment. The thing about Kyle Lowry, like, he's been improved.
You gotta fix your mic, bro.
Oh, I got you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, cool. So the thing about it is that we can't really say that about Kyle Lowry because he has been progressing this year. I mean, last year was his first year and he didn't show exactly what we needed, but he has upgraded this year. And I'll say this, and I said this yesterday, we're in a transition. And in that transition, we need to be able to keep our core pieces and just add on extra pieces that are at the same age level as our core pieces. I don't think for the past 3 years that we've done anything to I guess you can say add an extra piece. I think everything's just been kind of stagnant, even with the transition from Goran Dragic to Kyle Lowry. That has been a little bit stagnant. You thought you would see a little bit improvement, and I do understand where he's coming from with the Kyle Lowry take, but I don't think he should be on the bench. Reason for that is that we don't even have a healthy point guard. And I think what we have to do is what you said before is play Oladipo a little bit more, let him get more time off the bench, find or create I guess you can say, an offense around him and Tyler Hero coming off the bench. That's what's been working for us. You can play Tyler Hero whenever starting. I don't really care because he's going to do what he has to do, and I think you're right on. We cannot stop the progression of our young guys and our young core. But when we talk about it, I think we do need to add on either a piece that can push us over the level, a veteran piece like that, or maybe a younger piece that we can go ahead and develop along with Hero and Bam. And it's great that the Knicks fans are up because I'm asking if they would take a second round for Cam Reddish. I think he would be a decent, I guess you could say, stretch four, small stretch four, something that PJ Tucker could have been if he was about 10 years younger, and jumped a little bit higher. I think that's what we need. Moving forward, it is going to be a little bit rough. I think because of the age of our team, we're going to see a lot of, I guess you could say, nutrition going throughout the season. So we need to work on that, whether it be an added piece. But I think with the Oladipo addition, a lot of people aren't seeing it, but he's being a lot more consistent and a lot more accurate with the things that he does, and it's a lot less turnovers. So I'll definitely say we need to look forward on him. And the Max Truce, I'm not, again, like you said, Chris, he's not making 15 mil. So I won't get on him too heavy, but they do need to lessen up his minutes a little bit and maybe play Hayward Highsmith a little bit more. Just because even if Hayward doesn't score, like, he still does the things on the defensive end. He still gets the rebounds that we need. So
I
it's a lot of ugly, pretty things, but it's ugly all in general this season. But again, this is kind of normal for us Heat fans. So we'll just have to see until after All-Star break.
Yeah, the biggest fear I have for the Heat, this is like what's different from last year is last year your defense was better. You're actually in the red in your point differential, and if you can't fix that, it doesn't matter what Oladipo does because you guys just don't have, like, you're the worst scoring team in the East.
I understand that, Chris, but I mean I think that's due. I think that's due
Like,
to Duncan
it's bad.
it's due to Duncan and Max Strus. I mean, like, yes, they're supposed to provide that offensive push that puts us over the edge for lacking on defense, but they're lacking on offense, and you already know what it is on defense. So even with Caleb Martin
But
out,
but
like,
but the problem. I mean, the problem is I don't think you understand how, like, bad that is.
Can't
Like,
shoot. We can't shoot
yeah,
threes. That's like, we can't shoot. We can't defend out of wet paper bag. Those
the
are our issues.
Clippers have the worst offense in the league, and they have the worst offense in the league because their two best players have missed more than half their games.
I don't mean to intrude, but did I hear they can't shoot threes?
They can't shoot
No,
anything.
we
Evan
can't.
Fournier is available.
I knew it. I knew it. Stop.
Let's get Ray. I'll give you 30 seconds real quick to come on the back end here of JF. Then we're going to go up to Brooklyn Netcast. We're going to move off of the Heat real quick, move on to another team. I put a question up there. I am asking for y'all to sit down and take off your hate goggles and ask yourself this question. Is there any better duo in the NBA right now than Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving? My answer is no. I want to know what your answer is. Go ahead, Ray. 30 seconds to clean up the Heat. Brooklyn, take it up after him.
Just to touch on the Kyle thing, if you move him to the bench, that means you take Victor and you move him to the starting lineup and you allow him to run the point, or just let Jimmy run the point, whatever. You have a more defensive-minded starting lineup. You have a guy that, that can kind of get to the bit better than Kyle has been able to. I know Kyle has shown that he can kind of get to the rim, but it's usually at the cost of his body, where Oladipo in these past 4 or 5 games, you've kind of seen a decent burst that comes with it and allows him to at least get into the paint. Whether he decides to take the shot or if he passes out for a three, you know how our offense is set up, is beside the point. Other than that, I agree with a lot of the other things that you said. That's just how I would clean up the Oladipo thing. Also, Chris, to your point, anything concerning health, if we're not looking at that and we're just looking at right now today in the NBA, then no. if there were some people that were healthy, I could probably come up with a counter offer to Kyrie and Kevin Durant. But since certain people are hurt, no, there's not a better
Ray,
duo.
last thing I'll just say is that we need to fix that third quarter, and we don't have anybody, I guess you can say, not tired to go ahead and work that. And I think Oladipo is not there yet with his conditioning to start, so maybe we can go ahead and fit him in that third quarter role that we definitely need, because Jesus Christ is horrible.
Well, the poll is going up in a second, and it's a blunt poll. Are the Heat done? Because I don't see any upward mobility. Period. Even if you start hitting your shots, and you hit an additional 3 threes per game, like that, you would still be.
You cut off, Chris?
Yeah, I was wondering if I went into the blender or if he just died.
Nah, I think he just cut out because
Yeah,
I
he was
don't
about
hear
to
him.
say some slander about the Heat. The good Lord saved us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you see, that's Louisiana voodoo magic for you right there.
Can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
Chris.
Yes.
Yeah,
Man, I got disconnected, man. Damn.
Twitter Space has been acting up for a bit now. Like,
Elon's Twitter, man, he's not having this nonsense.
I'll save the slander for the Miami Heat, and I'm going to go to Brooklyn Netcast, who also is disconnected. Brooklyn Netcast, good morning. Your thoughts on the Heat's juxtaposition, as well as is there any duo better than KD and Kyrie?
Good morning from Buffalo. I gotta tell you, I've seen like a lot of bad snowstorms, but a lot of people's power is going out. So luckily ours hasn't gone out yet, but it's awful. This is awful, especially right around Christmas time. And I have COVID, so it's a trifecta right now.
I hope you get
Thank you, I
better.
appreciate it, Chris. But as far as the Miami Heat go, yeah, they're in a tough spot. I mean, I feel like their ceiling is very limited, obviously, due to their lack of scoring output. Like you said, even if they keep hitting their shots, I can't see them doing so consistently with the guys they have. And I feel like they can't really blow it up because of, I mean, they can, but I don't know. Like, do you really want to go and trade? Like, I feel like that's an off-season thing, a thing they do in the off-season. So I don't think they.
That's something they're probably going to do in the
Yeah.
offseason is trade Kyle.
Yeah, and I think it's time in the offseason, but not right now. I think they played out the season, and they make like the 8th seed, and they lose in the first round. I mean, that's kind of how I see it going for them, which is okay. But like, Miami, the cool thing with Miami is when they go to the playoffs, you always expect them to do something. So they're going to fight for it. So even if they're a first-round exit, they're giving the first seed a run for their money, at least somewhat. They're fighting them through 48 minutes. So that's kind of how I think it's going to pan out for the Heat. As for best duo in the NBA, I mean, yeah, since like Kyrie's return from suspension, no one's been better than the Brooklyn Nets. Numbers, wins, everything backs it up, and of course those two have been fueling it all. And we've been missed Clax a few games, missed Ben a few games, missed a bunch of guys. T.J. Warren just got back. Utah's been out, which everybody will laugh at Utah, but Utah's been like actually outstanding this year. He's probably like the 5th, 6th best player on this team. He's been so good defensively. And the man does not miss from 3. So he's been the perfect 3-and-D guy that everybody needs. And, that duo, every single time I'm like, the Nets are going to lose this game. They're falling behind. The duo just heats up, and they'll end up dropping like 30 in the fourth quarter, and they'll win. So I can't say there's been a better duo. And also defensively, like Kevin Durant and Nick Claxton have been like a top 3 defensive duo this year, which sounds crazy, but please check the numbers. Best on points per attempt on ISO defense. They top 2 least points allowed, and they're 98th percentile at rim protection. Those two. The issue is when they're off the floor or they're not together that we have issue defensively. But like as a whole, this Nets team is just clicking. And my question to everybody that I want to figure out is, who do we think in the East blows it up first? Is it Washington, Chicago? I guess we just talked about the Heat, which I don't think it would be. But what team do we think blows it up first in the East? Because I think there's a few teams.
Well, the Wizards can't blow it up. They just contractually won't be able to. They can make some moves in trading Kyle and Bradley Beal, But Porzingis has zero trade market, and half their players have zero trade market.
Apparently, they want to go to Rui for a bag of chips, so Nets will gladly take him. That's for sure. I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, they wanted cap relief, right? Like the reason why they floated it to Phoenix was that Crowder can be diverted. They can get a draft asset and save $10 million
off
of
Seth Curry. Then
cap.
I mean, that's fine. Take Seth on.
Well, I'm just saying. So like they're already essentially blown up. This is just the fallout from trading.
They already suck, so I guess it's hard to.
So really, the only team that we're watching for a blow up is Chicago, and the question is when. I think not if, because if they go 3-7 in their next 10. You're talking 16-25, and you will be out of contention.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's, to me, without Ball, the team was broken. They were never able to address it because they thought they could get Alex Caruso and Ayo Dosunmu to do what Ball does, which they can't. And I like Ayo. I think he's a pro for a decade. But it was a Ball that made that offense hum, and without Ball, it doesn't work.
Agreed.
Ball made the defense good too.
Lonzo Ball is showing that he's one of the best, like, true point guards in the league, I guess you could say, as in consistently running an offense and playmaking and playing defense at point of attack. Like, I'm happy he's getting his flowers now, even though it's a bit,
It's also unfortunate though because he's likely done for the season, and people are starting to talk whether or not his career is going to be.
I mean, I think it's a fair question though. Like
it is. It's just sad. And I've said this before. Like I would love to see a medical forensic exam to see if the Big Baller shoe brand had a part to play in it. The Bulls have won 2 in a row. And nobody believes them. So there you go. Like, no one believes in them. Like, even their own fan. Do you know what I saw? Do any of you follow Ramina? I love her, by the way. She's hilarious on Twitter. There was a Bulls podcast called Bulls Podcast. Like, they actually up and said, we are taking a break because of the lack of support from the fan base. Like, it is nasty. Nasty in Chicago Bulls Twitter right now.
It is. You know what happened the other day when we played the Bulls, when we beat them the second time? Sean was holding up the Nick wall. He was holding a space, and 808s and snack breaks came up. And it pretty much went like he was so defeated and so broken that, like, Sean felt bad. And he was like, we were going to bully you as a fan base up here, but seeing you be so depressed, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to let you be, man. It was bad.
At least the Heat don't feel this bad. I mean, goddamn, that's like, but it's not.
I truly felt for the guy because you could hear the despair, the sadness of like, yeah, we're just ass. Like, there's nothing we can do.
Speaking of also teams with nothing they can do, the Washington Wizards lose again. Shout out to Ahmed, for those who know. I wish my soundboard was working. I'd give him a point. 120-112 to the Utah Jazz. I want to make sure that people understand Utah wasn't expected to even be a 500 team. They're enjoying this, but make no mistake, they are about to try to rule the trade deadline. They have these players who are going to be guaranteed to be available. Are you ready? Because the list is long, and the list can help a lot of other teams, aka the Miami Heat, aka the New York Knicks, aka the Los Angeles Lakers. Mike Conley Jr., Jordan Clarkson, Rudy Gay, Malik Beasley, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Taylor Horton-Tucker, and that's it. All of them have starting experience. All of them have experience where they've gotten 20 minutes per game in the NBA, and they are all going to be available. Maybe even Colin Sexton, though the word is that Utah really, really likes Colin Sexton. So there you go. So when you're watching the Jazz, understand you may actually be watching a future player for your team. We'll go to Sean with the W first. I'm going to slide him a co-host real quick, because just in case I get excommunicated again. We'll get his take, then we'll go to JFK, then Bankai. If you're down below and you want to come on up, do me the favor, shoot a follow, like, and retweet the very first tweet. We call it the show card. And before Sean goes, this is where I would normally hit a button to play some background music, but I can't. But this show and every show is brought to you by our sponsor, slamgoods.com. If you head over to slamgoods.com now, you can see some cool stuff that you can pick up. And, you know, our deal with them is so good that even the clearance stuff, you can use our promo code HoopSpaces and save 15%. I had a convo yesterday. 312 times the promo code HoopSpaces has been used at slamgoods.com. So I would hit the applause button. So I want to make sure you hear it. Give yourselves a round of applause and a pat on the back. It is simply, thank you, wowed them. They had to admit that they were not expecting as many orders. But hey, you know, we are here for that. And if you go over there, you can be one of those 312 and make it 313 and pick up one of those Funko Pop bobblehead dolls that are going to be a collectible item. Like, they still have 4 that are available. I'll put them out there in a tweet. There you go. Sean, what's up?
First, shout out to the 312 people, 313 people who did that. Second, Bankai, you better than me. I would have bullied the hell out of them because they never nice to us. So I don't have no, listen, there's some fan bases I have no sympathy for: the Heat, the Bulls, the Lakers, the Pacers. There's another one I'm forgetting. So bully when you get the chance, because they'll definitely bully you back. In regards to the Utah situation, they never really want THT.
You know what? People are going to say no. But there are a couple of teams that could use him.
Like?
No.
Toronto.
Why would Toronto want THT?
Because he does something that Delano Banton hasn't been able to do yet, and that's be consistent.
Consistently bid?
Well, no, THT is actually a decent defender, and he can be on a second unit with the 7+ wingspan he has, playing down guarding down the guard like that. Like, part of the issue is Fred VanVleet isn't as good as defensively, and Malachi Flynn is not a you've seen him. Like, he ain't stopping nobody. And so what happens is they don't have a guard to put on the other team's starting guard when Fred is either sitting out or on the backup, and then their backup just gets killed. Like, Malachi scored 6 points. He gave up 11. That's -5. That's bad. THT won't do that.
That is true. You're right. But then you take it. I'm guessing you're saying that, like, the step back offensively, you take a step back offensively, but what he makes up for defense will cancel it out.
Well, yeah, but like, Malachi's averaging like 4 points per game, so the step back is nil.
Okay, that's true. Okay,
and then he also would be good on the Nuggets. He'd be really good on the Nuggets. Nasty on the Nuggets, by the way.
No.
Yeah.
Nuggets got nothing to trade, though.
That's the problem. And he would, because that way, like, THC's at his best when he's cutting. Mm-hmm. He has never been able to be on a team. Like, he was supposed to work with LeBron because he was supposed to be a cutter, but he could never cut in Los Angeles because their offense sucks.
Yeah.
But I that's just my opinion. Maybe you don't like it.
No, like, when we say he's really a cutter, then it's like, obviously, playing with Jokic, you cut all day, you get buckets. That makes sense.
Bing. Yeah. Like,
Chris, give me the list of people that are available again from the Jazz.
All right. From the Jazz, Mike Conley Jr., Jordan Clarkson, Rudy Gay, Malik Beasley, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, THT.
I would take Malik Beasley off of that team. I would also take Jared Vanderbilt, even though you didn't say his name. But
that's because he's not available.
That's a sidebar. That's a sidebar.
That ain't no sidebar. Like, when Danny Ainge and Minnesota made that Rudy Gobert trade, Jared Vanderbilt was the only player that was named in every trade offer that Utah requested.
It's because they're smart, because they know they can get another pick for him one day. Because I mean, do you think Jared Vanderbilt is going to be like the key role piece that leads them to a title one day, or the star that does it?
Like Jared Vanderbilt is averaging 57-40, giving you 8 points, 8 boards, 3 assists, a steal and a block.
Exactly.
He's not going anywhere.
Give him to the Miami Heat.
He's not going anywhere. They're going to play him next to Walker Kessler. Like that's the goal.
That's a true story.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely take Malik Beasley. If you told me that I had to take somebody off that list, him or Jordan Clarkson, because I mean our bench unit is so bad and cannot create scoring for itself by any stretch of the imagination. So Jordan Clarkson fixes the bench scoring, and Malik Beasley at least shoots the 3-ball well and consistently enough compared to the 2 white guys that we have out there doing it. Because Spo doesn't want to just take all those shots and give them to Tyler. So yeah, Malik Beasley would work for me. No, I watched Nah in New Orleans, and I really liked him. I haven't seen what he's done for Utah this year, but if that development kind of stayed consistent over his transferring of teams, and I think he tore his ACL too, right?
Yeah.
Like if that development is still there and able to be molded, I would also take Nickeil Alexander-Walker too, just out of those 3 guys. But
yeah, he's looking better. I was high on him this year. I thought he was actually going to win the starting small forward position, but he didn't. They went with the 3-guard lineup at the very beginning because they were still waiting for Vanderbilt or Markkanen, one of those 2 to come back. But now they settled in on Vanderbilt and Markkanen with Clarkson and Conley. Beasley, like if his head is right, sure. I question his self-control. But Nickeil Alexander-Walker could really be a steal if he's starting to actually regain his form. He had 22 minutes last night, 8 points, 4 assists, and that is what we were told he would be a facilitating 2-guard, maybe a small 3. So keep an eye out on him. We'll go to JF, then Bonkai, and then back to Sean. If you are down below and you have a better duo in the league than Kevin Durant and Kyrie, please, like there's the tweet up there. Tell me what your duo is. I want to know who they are and why. I've seen Kawhi PG. I've seen Tatum Brown. I've seen AD LeBron. Like, let me know what your thoughts are because I don't think it's close right now, as I think Brooklyn is really about to actually pull away from the East, as I see it. JF, go ahead, then Bonkai.
Yeah, Chris. I wanted to admit one thing today. Man, I love New York basketball. Like, I love the history of it. I love the parks that they have. I love the players that came out. But Chris, the Knicks don't match up to what the city actually represents. And I kind of don't appreciate it because even when they had Melo, I was still a little bit happier that they were a tough team. Like, I really like that team. But right now, like, I don't know, just them being good. I know the NBA is not good, and it's no disrespect to them. It's really bad all around. And KD and Kyrie should have been the preferable duo in the NBA. I mean, those are 2 top 5 players, I believe, or 2 top 10, I guess you could say. I believe in the NBA right now. But my question towards the trade idea is: do you think Dwayne Wade can help mend the relationship and make a trade possible between Danny Ainge and Pat Riley? That's always been my biggest concern between trading with either Boston or Jazz. Okay, so no.
Pat's got to do it, and Pat's got to pay what Danny wants. That's how Danny Ainge operates with everybody.
I'm sorry.
I just want to remind everybody of a crucial quote from Pat Riley. Danny Ainge needs to shut the fuck up. And
you feel me, Ray? You feel me?
I remember that. But that's the problem. Is like Danny Ainge is in the position of I've got what you want, and if you want to play, you got to do what I say. Like that's always been Danny Ainge, to the chagrin of many Boston Celtics.
What's funny is that he don't trade at the Knicks either, and we got a player that he could use too. But JF, who you want from Utah?
I would take actually I would take Malik Beasley. I think either him or if Kelly O is available, I'll definitely bring Kelly O back to Miami. He's definitely a Heat favorite. He balled out when he was here. I think this when he was with the Heat is when he's starting to show his progression towards the upward side. He still was good when he was in Detroit. He's still good that he's in Utah. I think he's one of those underappreciated players in the league, and that's just because he's always on bad teams. So I'll take either Kelly O or Malik Beasley.
All right. Bakai, what's up?
Yeah, I think a player I'd pick from them is Malik Beasley, just because we need. I think we could use him off the bench. The Knicks bench needs a little bit of a scoring punch right now. I don't know exactly, what changes you make in the rotation, but if we could get him, I'd love to have him here. Plus, he was linked to the Knicks, last trade season and in the off season, because I know Cristian Rosas is pretty high on him.
Why are you outside?
Because I'm walking my dogs.
Why are you outside?
Because I'm walking my dogs.
It's still in the 40s here.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's just a little
Yeah, what are you
Okay.
guys dealing with in America? It
40s
is
here.
lovely outside. 72 degrees.
I mean,
Like all of you can miss me with how warm it is. Like I'm just letting you know.
It's just kind of windy over here and like rain,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's not like insanely cold either. And also, I
Chris.
think
All
it's
right.
for walking.
This is hateful. This is rude.
Chris.
This is just
What?
Chris, you've been to Miramar. I know you like it. You can go ahead and get yourself a house down there. And you feel me? Come live where the weather's
Look,
nice and
man.
warm. You
Look,
ain't gotta worry about
I am done with Eglin Air Force Base, and I'm done with Miramar. My life in that field of work and area is done.
shout out
Like,
Opalaka.
Chris, I'll just say this. I can't remember the last time I bought a jacket.
I'm gonna be down there next week too. I'm looking forward to it.
man, y'all have fun, man. I'm gonna just be miserable in my Midwestern hell. All right, back to some basketball. We got some people down below I want to give a shout out for. Malika Walker, host of the Rewind Pod, is in the building. Malika, do me a favor, DM me the tweet that has last night's show on there so that these wonderful people who are going to be stuck inside can listen to some real good talk about the Boston Celtics, Larry Bird era Celtics, actually. Dennis Johnson, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, Danny Ainge, as we're talking. She was joined by Justin Patton, a couple other real diehard Celtics historians who are not, uber, the Celtics are the greatest thing on earth. And it was a great conversation to listen to. I was able to catch about the first 35 minutes of it. So make sure you shoot her a follow. I'll get that tweet up there. Tony Schwartz, NBA from 5 Reasons Sports. You can catch him hosting spaces during the halftime of Heat games. And then the man, the myth, the legend, the creator of Power After Hours, Jeff J. Says, host of BetX on Madison Square Garden Networks. Yeah, you like that, Sean? That was good, right? I think I finally got it. That was good. I think that's going to be the de facto if I can ever remember. I don't think I will, so there'll be likely a new one. But check him out. If you like Power, he dominates that field. If you like betting, he dominates that field. And he's hilarious, which I actually give him, a lot of respect for. People who are funny are intelligent, more so than you give them credit for. All right, Maine has been patient. We're going to go to Maine. What's up, Maine? How you doing?
What's going on, family? How you doing? How's everybody?
It's cold. That's all I'm complaining about. It's cold, man.
I just wanted to chime in on your the duo thing. I do think KD and Kai is the best duo right now. I don't know if you remember, Chris, but earlier, and maybe like right before the season, you had a space, and I told you I had KD for MVP this season, and he ain't there yet, but it's looking good right now. I know a lot of people really not on that train because it's just a lot of good talent and everything like that in the league. So I understand that point, but if he keep being, God willing, he stay healthy and he keep hooping. The Nets look good, and he up there. He going his votes going to be very very high. I feel like.
Yeah, I think he's going to be top 3. Jokic is so statistically dominant.
True, he is.
And if Denver ends up being 1 or 2 in the West versus KD 1 or 2 in the East, I think just because he's statistically dominant, he becomes the NBA's first 3-time repeating and since Larry Bird.
Yeah, I was listening to that too. I've heard somebody on TV talking about that, and they were saying that you kind of just gotta like respect the rules, because when Giannis got his second one, he only got 1 vote for the next one because he ain't never won. And this Giannis we talking about, so we can't just keep giving the MVP out. I understand it's regular season, and if you play good, a lot of times you get it with the seasons. I understand, people like Westbrook and stuff like that. They had their seasons where they was lower season, they got it, but me personally, I don't think Jokic should get it again.
Yeah, okay, but here, like I have a modernized VORP, right? There are 3 people who are excelling. One person dominates production. His name is Luka Doncic. He's shooting 49%, giving you 3 threes, 32 points per game, 8 boards, 9 assists, all points, all rounded to the nearest, right? Jason Tatum is up there. 30 points, 8 boards, 4 assists, 3 points, 47, 86 from free throw. And then like Jokic is up there. But like, here's what Jokic is doing compared to those 2. 61% from the floor, 80 from the line, a 3 per game, 11 boards, 9 assists, 2 steals, a block, 21 double-doubles.
Incredible.
And like, so he statistically dominates, and the Denver Nuggets are what, 2nd in the East? I mean, in the West? So like, yeah, he doesn't have a chip, but like, what's the argument? Oh, and by the way, y'all better be careful and watch out for Domantas Sabonis, who's fast becoming a dark horse. He's got a 62%. 18 points, 12 boards, 7 assists, a steal and a block.
What position are the Knicks in the West? Or I'm sorry, not the Knicks, the Kings in the West.
They're 5th.
I closed the
fifth last
screen,
time
but
I looked.
They're not going to give it to a top.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, what could happen is, think what Toronto did with Kawhi. Sacramento is in this position. They're not like, those contracts aren't kicking in until next season, and they can trade Harrison Barnes and another player to create the salary structure to bring in a fitted piece that will move them from 6 to 3. Right? Like, they're 17 and 13. They're only a game and a half out from being number 2.
I get it. Maybe, but I just don't see that like holding. I guess like.
See, the problem is people are viewing the Kings as the Kings, and they're not seeing that they have a successful winning head coach.
And they got good players.
This is true. Look, I've been one of the people that's always been like, the Kings. The last time the Kings made the playoffs was like the Charlotte Bobcats managed to be born, die, and rebranded as the Hornets. The Kings were able to make the playoffs, so I'd like to see them in the playoffs.
All right, but so here we go though, right? Mike Brown, as a head coach, has had 1 losing season, and that was in 2013 when he had Cleveland. He was 33 and 49. He's had 2 50-win seasons and 2 60-win seasons. And people say it's because of LeBron. Like, he's won everywhere he's gone as an assistant outside of Washington. He's won everywhere as a head coach outside of 1 year in Cleveland. And to be honest, that year was it was doomed for anybody.
Wasn't that the Anthony Bennett year?
Yeah.
Oh God.
And by the way, the streets are saying Zach Wilson is the Anthony Bennett of the NFL.
When the Jets came out and said that he had the yips, I was like, "Oh, this kid's done." That's
Anyway, I didn't watch it. I don't cover it, but like I've seen the tweets.
He's done out here, bro. He is done out here.
I hear it's nasty.
Look, so, when your franchise that drafted, what did they draft him like number 4,
number 2?
Whatever the hell it was. Oh my God, that's even
see, like I said, Ray, I don't watch football. I have no idea. But when someone compares a professional quarterback to Anthony Bennett, like that's not.
He's Ryan Leaf 20. He's Ryan Leaf.
When you're the franchise that drafted you number 2 literally gets out in the open, says this kid has the yips, like that's how you should know there's something seriously wrong, or this kid has everybody fooled. Where did he come from? Is this the BYU kid?
All right, we're not gonna go down this rabbit hole because I don't care. I'm trying to be nice, Ray. I don't give 2 whats about Zach Wilson and his troubles in New York. I could care less. The kid got paid. He should be happy. Go to Florida where it doesn't get cold and you don't need a jacket.
Hey, Chris, you should get some hoop shorts.
There's plenty of mills in Florida, man. For him to survive.
You stay where you're at in Louisiana. He'll stay where he's at in New York.
How am I supposed to go anywhere? It's so freaking cold. If I moved 3 inches outside of my front door, I would freeze to death.
Well, that would be bad. So don't. Stay inside, stay warm. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you look above, the Funko Pop tweet is up there. I'd ask for a favor. If you could do me a favor, like and retweet it. Like if you go on the website at slamgoods.com, you will see for a fact that they're sold out. Like there's only so many of them. And like if you collect these things as a standalone collectible because they actually increase in value, you're getting a deal because you're getting a limited edition made specifically for Slam. You'll save 15% off using the promo code HoopSpaces. They track the sales, and then I can flex and say, hey, maybe you should invest more in what we're building here. Win-win for everybody. All right. I'm bringing Tony up. What's up, Tony? The Jazz win. It was very... It was not even. It was so predictable. It was like the Lord of the Rings movies. It kind of lulled me to sleep. I was in and out of consciousness.
The Lord of the Rings slander, please.
It's not slander if it's true, Malika. I was in and out of sleep.
It is not true.
Just like Avatar 2.
I mean,
I get
it
Avatar
wasn't
2,
that
but
bad.
not.
Avatar 2 was a good movie.
No.
I watched it the other day.
No.
Man, what are you watching?
No. None of these movies are good.
I have a problem with the storyline of Avatar 2. I really...
You should have a problem with the whole thing.
It felt like a copy and paste of the first one, except there's water, but it was still...
No, I'm going deeper. I'm going deeper than that.
Y'all watched a 3-hour screensaver. Just understand that. A 3-hour screensaver.
Imagine being the technology science guy and watching the giant leap forward in cinematic technology and then hating it.
Let me just say, I thought it was beautifully done.
Brand is cooked, Chris.
The movie is beautifully done, Tony. My problem is the story. It mirrors too closely to American history way back when, and I'll just leave it at that. And I'll just say that.
Well, the story has always been a vehicle. It's the Avatar movies are never about what you're watching, and it's always about the subtextual conversation about planet destruction and race relations and everything else that goes on with that. So what you're picking up on is probably what you should be picking up on.
Yeah, all I know is I ain't watching it because I ain't finished the first one because I fell asleep. It's a 3-hour screensaver.
It's okay. We all know you don't like good things. We're past this now.
When I got home, my brother said, "You actually watched that 3-hour movie? You actually went?" And I said, "Yeah." He was like, "Wow." but it was beautiful.
Yeah, it ain't the good wow either.
It was beautiful on screen. Yeah, it was beautiful to look at. But yeah, I will say that.
Yeah. This is how bad it is, ladies and gentlemen, when they only put 2 games out there and it's 2 games that nobody really wanted to watch.
Did anybody watch? Yeah, I was about to say, did anybody watch basketball last night?
I did.
No.
I was trying to talk about it, but like nobody's watched it. Like Sean was like, "I'm useless." Like, no, you're not. Like, I ain't watched no games. Like,
I actually have a question about the Raptors, and this is me talking ball, not trolling. I had a back and forth with a Raptors fan on Twitter because this was after the which article that came out? This is after the KOC tweet when he's like the Raptors in blow it up territory. And
yeah, the Kevin O'Connor. I remember that tweet. I said it was nasty work.
It was very nasty work. So
KOC desperately needs a trade for his job right now.
So someone replied like, "Who would you move, Anunoby or Siakam?" And he said, "Anyone but Scotty. Depends on the return. I'd want 4 firsts for Siakam." So this dude, Raptors NBA Hoops, responded. He said, "You don't know Masai if you think he'll blow this up completely." And I responded, "You don't know if you don't know Masai if you think he won't blow it up completely." So he said, "I guess we'll find out." And I said, "The pivot is to find someone to pair with Scotty and turn the team over to him." And he said Barnes isn't an alpha in his opinion. So I said, and this is my question, what's the next move then? Because if you don't want to blow it up and you don't think so, one, do Raptors fans think Scotty's still that dude? 2, if you don't, they're like, what do you do? Like what's the move then? Because yes, you have Pascal. I don't think Pascal is a number 1 on the championship team, but obviously he's very, very good. But what's the move for the Raptors right now? Because, and this is where like the mid jokes I make kind of make sense. It's like they're stuck in the middle because I don't think they can win the title, but they're too good to tank unless they just blow it up. So what do they do?
Yeah, I put a tweet out that one day saying streets are saying Scotty Barnes is Michael Carter Williams 2.0. And like people are like, why? And I'm like, because the success he had was not indicative of the progress he made. Right? Like he walked into essentially a cookie cutter position of volume in minutes due to injury, COVID, and he performed well, and he became Rookie of the Year. But like he didn't really develop during the course of the season. He just continued to do what was the role that they put him in because he did it well. And now, like, when we're looking at him this year compared to last year, at 29 games in, we're like, where's the development? Like, getting maybe 1 more assist per game, maybe does that count? But he still really hasn't shown control of the offense. He still can't make post-entry passes. He's still a phenomenal wing defender. He still has a wonky shot. Like, what's the progress? And I think the issue is the undue expectations of immediate success, similar to what like the Hawks are going to the Eastern Conference Finals. And people are starting to realize, like, okay, Scotty has great potential. He's a very good young player, and they forget the fact that he's young. And it's going to take 2 or 3 years. And like, I think he's going to be fine.
But then you have to drop Michael Carter Williams. And this is why the world attacks you, because you put these arguments in nice little boxes and bows at the beginning. But then in the back end, they bite back, Chris. If you think he's going to be fine, we got to drop Michael Carter Williams.
Why?
Yeah, Michael Carter Williams is
because the issue. Well, no, the issue.
Projection.
Well, the issue that I have was that Philadelphia gave up on Michael Carter Williams because he didn't fit the timeline process. And like, we will never know what he would have been able to develop into.
Yes, we do. No, I watched him at Syracuse. I knew he was not that guy. Like he had because he had measurables, he had length. So it's like, oh, I'll say this: the idea of Michael Carter Williams is much better than Michael Carter Williams. Like, if he put it together, quote unquote, he would have been amazing, but because he had the tools. But I knew he wasn't that guy.
Yeah, like, so, like, when I was watching him, and I'm like, okay, what I'm seeing was essentially Tony Allen at point guard, Marcus Smart before Marcus Smart.
Sounds good.
Exactly, right? Like, that's what you saw his rookie year. And, like, had he still been playing, like, that's what I think his ceiling was. Not relative value to where he was drafted once again. But, like, he was way better than Nerlens Noel as an option.
Yeah.
I still regret that.
Yes. I would say, I think people saw 6'6" point guard, can handle the ball. And they're like, if he gets a shot together, then we got something.
Yes.
That's not what happened. But I didn't think he was going to get a shot together.
Neither did I, but I thought he could be Marcus Smart. You know, give me 6-7 assists and 2 steals and kill the other opponent's offensive player.
Like I said, I remember watching him at Syracuse. I've always felt he was more of a shoot-first guy. And I don't think he was drafted for his defense. I think people were like, okay, he has length, so he could be a good defender. But, you know, we always say that length and defense starts with effort. So, like, Michael Carter Williams is the dude that you draft that gets you fired because he's so tantalizing. But he never puts it together.
I like that. Go ahead, Tony. What you got?
No, I just find it interesting that Scotty is the guy that we pick on about the second year ungrowth. Especially, like, we just talked about the volume and usage rating that he had in his first year into a role shift. And now the expectation was the second year player should be able to have a strong command of an offense coming into a new role and his first NBA offseason.
Well,
so
I don't think that's true
with Scotty, and I haven't heard another name pop up.
Well, I don't think that's true. I think towards the end of the season, they were already shifting some of the offensive role to him. And so what we're seeing is the extension of what we started to see at the second half of the season.
And he was like primary ball handler for like a majority of that last season during injuries.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, if he's got 30 games as their majority ball handler, and that's already the role that they're telling him that he's going to do, and he has all summer to do it, I kind of expect him to be able to get an entry pass into Pascal Siakam. Saying.
I mean, I expected the Heat to find a point guard that could drop an entry pass for 6 years, and it never materialized.
By the way, the developmental path, Tony, I want to ask you a question. I think that Scotty is on, which I'm saying he'll be fine, is Tyler Hero.
What?
Wait. Not like the developmental time path, like come when Tyler's in his 4th year, right?
Yeah.
Scotty's 4th year, he's going to be excelling like Tyler is now in Miami.
And to the point that Tyler he had to step back year 2 and then he bounced back year. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes. Tony, go ahead.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, because I'm trying to make it make sense even from a skill perspective, but I just like that angle more. Yeah, I think it's very much like that. Look, Tyler is a guy, too, that just didn't respond well. And guess what? Young kids don't respond well when you change their job on them multiple times in a season. Like, it's just how that works. Any level of anything. You go to fucking McDonald's. It's the same process. Like, people work better when they understand what their objective and roles are. And Tyler didn't respond well to being asked to be a point guard in his second year. And now his playmaking development in the 4th year is the most noticeable step that he's taken. It's the biggest leap this squad has added, I think, outside of like Jimmy Butler's set shot. So it's one of these things that it's really tough, man. And I don't understand why the media crucify. Look, expectations are the killer. Expectations have always been the killer, and it's what ruins life. Thinking that Scotty Barnes was going to be the guy that could have got you Kevin Durant, and now you have to watch that player play, and fans just look at that and go, could have been KD, I think is what ruins this. I personally think it.
Santa Rosa's up here. So this is going back to Sean's question, and we're going to go to Santa Rosa. So the actual question you are asking then, Sean, is there's now an issue with Toronto. And if Scotty's 21, Pascal and Fred are 28. And what are you going to do when you have two players from a championship core who can still be highly competitive with a championship style piece? And you can actually add in OG and Gary at 25 and 26 to this timeline. But then you still have now Scotty Barnes at 21. Like, to get to where Tyler Hero is developmentally, third year or fourth year, now we're talking Fred 31, 32, Pascal 31, 32, and that's the problem. So I'm actually with you. Ujiri could blow this up. He very well could wake up with Toronto in the 8th spot at 500 and say we got like a 1% chance, and then say it's time to just go all in on Scotty and blow it up. I could actually see that happening. Santa Rosa, you're a fan. Your thoughts?
Hi there. My thoughts on it is, well, I think eventually the Raptors will do something that is massive. Oh, sorry, can you hear me? It's fine.
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
we got you.
Okay, sorry. I think that the Raptors will do something that will be like whether it would be like going more into a soft rebuild or they're gonna trade somebody away. And I think it might be Fred, because Fred didn't get his extension, but if I'm not mistaken, Pascal did. So I think that is going to play a lot into the future of the Raptors. The thing with Scotty is that when Fred was playing off ball at the beginning of the season, Scotty was doing great. You know, he was getting his offense going. He was assisting, and but then when Fred started to get the ball back in his hands more, I guess he didn't. I don't know, like the fact that his own points total was dropping, his average. But when he got the ball back in his hand more, then you just started to see Scotty get canceled out on the offense. You know, sitting in the corner waiting for a three, not really doing anything. And I think that as a year two player, as a young player, that affects a person like that because as like I can't remember who said it, but like there's no defined role right now for him. Is he gonna be the point guard or is he gonna just kind of be in that small forward, power forward type of role, And I think out of all the guys on the starting five that fit the vision that Messiah is going for, is Scotty and Pascal and OG. And I think Gary and Freddie are more disposable in that way to either get a better, player, or just going into a soft rebuild or tanking or just letting them go. I don't know. But I think with Scotty also too, another thing, I think his trajectory is more like Pascal. Pascal started young. I mean, he started at 17 years old when Pascal came into started playing basketball at 17 years old. And when he came to the league, after I think like a year or two of college, he was really green. A lot of the skills that, Scotty has now, Pascal didn't have. And Pascal every year has gotten better until he reached the player that he is today, an all-star, all NBA, top 20, type of player. And I think that with Scotty, he can have that same trajectory as it and development, like similar to Pascal. They kind of play kind of similar in that way too. I think he is like a great person to really embody and to have on the team to look up to. And I always felt that this year was going to be a down year for Scotty, and just due to like all the expectations. But what really gets me upset is really just people in the Raptors fan base and the Toronto media just getting and scrutinizing him and not really like and just placing the blame of this like the wrongs on the season all on him, and instead of making it a team issue, a roster construction issue with there's no bench or lack of shooting or a center. Sometimes Scotty has to play all those positions, even a center. That would be a lot on a 21-year-old, But anyways, I'll just line right there, and that's what I think the Raptors should do.
All right, I appreciate it. That's a great take. I agree. With everything but the Pascal thing, I think coming in, I think there was more. There was more for, expectation for Scotty to do more in his rookie year, just because of where Pascal was drafted, and also for why he was drafted. Right, when you get that high in the lotto, it's usually not a good sign when a player doesn't play. And I think also you're right. The amount of jobs he's had to do to cover for the deficiencies of the bench part from last year, and then the undue expectations this year, I think is leading to some in the Raptors fan base to kind of just go off. Real quick before I get to Nat, another reason why I had used Michael Carter Williams for this comparison is if you look at just the first 2 years.
Because you're a sicko. That's
Right.
why.
If you look at the first 2 seasons, tell me I'm wrong.
The expectations of Michael Carter Williams and expectations of Scotty Barnes, I think, are different. Like Scotty is like ceiling is like all NBA defense, which is I don't think Michael Carter Williams ever was. So that's why I'm hesitant about the Michael Carter Williams debate.
Also,
Comparison.
Santa Rosa, she made a great point when she was like, this weird that this is getting pegged on Scotty. You know the John Travolta meme where he's just looking around?
Yeah.
Okay, that's somebody looking for rim pressure on the Toronto Raptors roster. So, like, what I don't understand how Scotty's getting pegged for not being an All-Star in his second year. It's wild to kind of watch from afar. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
And
All right,
can I also say something too? Is that not comparing like Scotty like to Giannis or Tatum, but even when they were in their year twos, did you guys think that they would become the player that they are today? I mean, they had, they were again young, had like did mistakes, did like boneheaded stuff, or maybe weren't consistent, but you know, look how long it took for Giannis to become Giannis or Tatum to become that consistent guy, that you can rely on.
They told me Tatum was an MVP at 18.
That was the thing.
Yeah. Giannis, it was the second half of his sophomore season that people started understanding the talent that was there was greater than what was expected when he was drafted. And it was the start of his third season once they realized that this dude is not, he's coming.
And I would say I think that's a good point about Tatum because remember, Tony said it, like after his rookie year, people thought like he was gonna be, oh, this dude 50 wins next year, book it, and then he took a step back, and then or not even took a step back, he could not fit the expectations placed upon him year 2, so it looked like he took a step back, and that's what's happening here with Scotty. Because listen, and Bankai, we heard it all summer. He's gonna be all NBA defense. He's gonna be maybe he's like gonna be all NBA third team. Like a lot of all bullshit aside, a lot of expectations were placed on him, and this is a lesson because like we saw it in New York, like RJ Barrett, people decided he sucked after 6 months, and it's like, come on, this kid is 19 years old. Like we gotta let these kids play out. Even like Wiseman, who I think as of right now is a bust, but at the same time, I recognize that the factors leading to that, so much of them is out of his control, and he's maybe not in the best position to succeed. So we gotta let these kids, like, not every rookie comes in his job from day one. They're the exception, not the rule.
Stuff like this
Jason
stuff
Tatum
like
Um,
this
take
is
a
going to
step back
happen
the
until
second
the end
season.
of time, to be honest. I mean, they were putting expectations on Cam Reddish, like, oh, he's going to be all defensive team once he gets more minutes under Tibbs and all this crazy stuff. So this stuff is always going to happen, and then they tear them
all
down
right.
when they get
Got to
there.
challenge that.
Two,
I don't think.
two,
I don't
two
think
tweets
Jason
up
Tatum.
top, ladies and gentlemen. Two tweets up top. Two tweets up top. Malika Walker has put in the actual show from last night, the Rewind Pod. Make sure you put it in your bookmark or get it on your screen so you can listen to it as a live podcast, so to speak. It's absolutely phenomenal. You're going to go through the history of the Larry Bird Boston era Celtics. That's up there. Also, we got to wish our friend here, Nat, some luck. Maybe she's the one who gets the Derek White interview post game Friday night, brought to you by FansView, which is a new app that's basically reducing the barrier to access to players post game. You can win one by giving a reaction video, just like Justin Patton does, or you can bid in an auction format. And if you win, you're able to interview the player. Like, that's how it works. It's real simple. In the tweet up top, if you want to go check it out, you can click on the promo code to get the bid in. It does cost a little money, but if you use the promo code, you save half of it. It's like $4 a month. And the way I look at it is I put in a bid for the Zubac interview, right? I'm not expecting to win because I've already been outbid and I'm not going to put another one in. But there is a lane in here if you are a content creator struggling with getting credentials to interview players, or if you're just a super fan and you want to talk to, well, I don't want to say who else they got next because that's just not how it works. Download the FansView app and spend a few minutes on it, and you'll find out that it's just a dope place to get content for you as a creator, as well as create your own content, as well as getting you a chance to get an interview. Nat, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Chris. Thank you. Hopefully I do get it. This is something that I would like to do. You know me, Chris. I want to be able to interview players and continue to build on my this platform, my platform, and hopefully Chris, Hoop Spaces. We're taking over and get rid of what's his name, Skip Bayless and them, and we can take over their slot. That's
For
the
real.
goal.
Oh my gosh. I'm so
we
tired of that guy.
Yeah, we gotta get rid of those people. They're getting paid a lot of money to say nothing, absolutely nothing. But yeah, so I love the conversation about Toronto. As y'all know, it's a running joke that like that's my second team. But what I love
It's
about
still wild, by
it,
the way.
it's not wild,
Sean,
but
did you
like,
know about this?
oh my
I
god,
was
Did
I was at that show when Q revealed this, and I'm still disgusted.
Nats,
you're
the fan base has
not
dubbed me an
disgusted.
unofficial Raptors fan. I'm right there with you.
Thank you.
this
See,
is
listen.
this is bad behavior. All right, Nat, go ahead. Go
It's
ahead.
Tony, I'll
Go
put
ahead.
not.
you on the catapult and launch you into the sun. Don't ever say that again.
Please let
Listen,
Nat speak.
Shame
guys,
on you,
Yes.
listen,
Tony.
Yes.
listen. It is hard to dislike the Toronto Raptors. It really is. Like every time they play, they're a team that you like to watch. But similar to what I said before, they have a lot of the same player on the team. How can you focus on and know a direction when you have a lot of guys that do similar things? Pascal Siakam has been in trade rumors for about 2 to 3 years straight. Then he starts playing so damn well. Now we're taking him out of trade room. It's almost like, although I love what Masai does, it looks like he's a little confused on what he wants to do next. Because he's like, well, damn, like, what can I get for Pascal? Because he's playing great this year. And then Scotty, it's his year 2. This is year 2. Anyone jumping like out of the bus for Scotty Barnes year 2, mid-season, it's not even mid-season, to me doesn't make any sense. There are plenty of guys, and people did bring up Tatum. To be honest with you, the first couple of years of Tatum, I said, okay, this guy's probably going to be Tobias Harris. That's literally what I thought of Jason Tatum his first 2 years in the league. I was like, maybe he'll be,
Shot at the bias.
No, but it's not a bad thing. Tobias is not someone that you build around. So I
Yeah, you
thought
don't
that,
draft to buy number 3.
yeah, like I just like you don't do that. So I thought that Tatum was just going to be a guy that you can add, to a superstar. I didn't think that he would be what he is today. Um, Even what he is today, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see the guy who actually wanted to be a defender, who wanted to be a better playmaker. I didn't see that. I saw a guy who wanted to score a lot, but I didn't see the rest of it. So sometimes guys surprise you, but when it comes to Scotty Barnes, he needs time. You can't just draft people and just think everyone's gonna be, Michael Jordan or somebody's gonna be LeBron, and hey, you just off and running, man, do your thing. It just doesn't work like that. And when with Scotty, they don't know what he's going to be. I think that he is a 3, but I think that he looks a little out of place when he's ball handling and doing some point guard, handling the point guard duties and stuff. I think that he's a little, uncomfortable. That's what I see. If I'm wrong, you guys can tell me that. But I think he is a 3, and he needs to figure out how to be a 3 in this league, and it's going to sound crazy when I say it, but I've heard worse. But when it comes to Scotty Barnes, I see like a more consistent version and more impactful version of Jeff Green in his prime. That is what I see. A guy that can play that 3-4 position, defend, rebound, score, but he's just going to be way more consistent at it, and probably going to be an all NBA defensive team, first team
I want
for
Jeff
the
Green on
majority
the
of his
Heat
career.
so bad, man.
The ageless
Right,
wonder.
right.
The
So
ageless wonder, Jeff Green.
that's just what I see from Scotty Barnes. If he doesn't, pan out to be better than that, I'm okay with that comp. A more consistent version of it. So, Toronto, they have to figure it out. I think that they have to figure out what they're going to do with OG. If they're going to keep Pascal, keep Pascal. I wouldn't scoff at the idea of seeing what you can get for Fred VanVleet either, but you got to give Scotty. Scotty has amazing talent, and he's got crazy potential. To me, you just don't give that up, because of a slumping second year, which is what a lot of guys do the second year. So that's what I want to see. I want to see some consistency from that front office and start honing in on guys you actually want to develop.
All right,
Thanks, guys.
so before I go to Big Lance, because I told him he's next, he's been patient. I want to say thank you to Big Lance. I said that right now in the NBA, there's no better duo than KD and Kyrie. Do you have an argument for Tatum and Brown for me? Or are you gonna pick somebody else, or are you gonna agree with KD and Kyrie?
Well, until KD and Kyrie get to the finals together, I think that they will always be beneath Brown and Tatum. I think that I don't know why I have to make up such an argument, but like, you're gonna make me sound like such a homer, and then it's not that. I just think that I rather depend on Tatum and Brown. Like I know Tatum is going to show up. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That man plays. He's going to show up. I know that Brown is going to show up. I know that they play well together, especially at the stage of their careers. There's always going to be question marks regardless. 30-something games in with Kyrie and KD. I love KD, but it's still a question mark of that tandem and to see how far they can take it. So I think without a doubt, Tatum and Brown are the best duo in the league.
All right, appreciate it. Big Lance, thank you for your patience. Welcome on stage. Any thoughts you have of everything you've heard? Who's the best duo in the NBA? Floor is yours.
Yeah. So shout out to everybody here. I like these hoop spaces that y'all got going on, and Nat, I hope that you win that bid for that interview. But I am a Celtic fan, so I'll definitely say on the season, just as a homer, Tatum and Brown best duo. But if we're gonna say like the last 8 games, last 10 games, whatever, then I would say KD and Kyrie. But looking at the full body of work, given the Kyrie situation, that KD article that came out where he was name dropping other teammates, and then they played better afterwards. But I feel like the full body of the season, I'm still going Tatum and Brown. I do agree with the past most of the Raptors' opinions. Like, yeah, Scotty Barnes, premature to decide who he's going to be like. The Jeff Green comparison, I didn't hate because Jeff Green, when he was on the Celtics, was definitely like a player that had potential. But I see even more in Scotty because you got the playmaking and the defense as well. Like, I mean, again, not as good a shooter, but that can come. That can come with more reps. That can come with more practice. The thing that I do disagree with, somebody said Tatum took a step back, or they said like in his second year, people didn't know how good he was going to be. I fully disagree with that. I feel like Jason Tatum has stepped up every year, basically. And I feel like, I mean, the Tobias Harris comparison, I'm cool with that. But because Tobias Harris, really, I feel like he had the opportunity to be a number one when he was on the Knicks, and it was a bad team. But Jason Tatum, when he first came in, you got Kyrie, you got Al Horford, you got Marcus Smart, you got Jaylen Brown. Like, it wasn't asked of him to be the number one guy. And then when it became his turn after Kyrie left, after Kemba left, after Horford left the first time that came, like when he really became that guy, he shined through and was always on a winning team. So obviously, you know, the Tobias Harris comparison doesn't fit now, but I get that logic from seeing him play year one, year two, because he was like the third, fourth option, depending on how you looked at it. But yeah, that's all I had to say. I never thought Tatum took a step back unless he was taking a three, like a step back three. I didn't see him take a step back in his career, like playing wise.
He dropped his efficiency rating, as most players do when they ended up getting more shots.
Chris, he's only 19.
Can I respond to him really quick?
Yeah, dude.
Go ahead, Nat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, you're absolutely right. I meant to comment on that more. But I think what people are saying, is he went from 47% his first year to the second year, he went to 45%. And then he went from 43% shooting the three to 37%, which is still not bad. I just think that they look at, he had a down year, but then they don't look at the fact of, how he goes from 13 points to almost 16. How he's 6 rebounds. Now he's up to 2 assists, like a whole full assist, a steal. Like he was he was leveling out and trying to figure out some things, I think, scoring the ball, but he definitely did not take a step back. And I think that that's what people are looking at. And as far as the first 2 years, that is the only thing that I meant as far as the Tobias Harris. I'm not saying Tobias Harris is a bad player, and I really hope people understand that. I actually really like Tobias Harris. Well, I think we know at this particular moment he is an add-on to a championship roster and not the center of it. So that's what I mean. But quite frankly, I didn't see the superstardom in Tatum that he is today. Is what I meant.
That's totally fine. Most players, I don't see superstar status anyway until year 2 or 3. I think that's pretty commonplace. Like Sean said, Ja's an outlier. We don't see too many Ja's like just come in from day one. We don't see too many Allen Iversons coming in from day one. JF will clear you up, and then I got to read, and we'll say what's up to Mike from the OC. We've got a couple of things to talk about and add in terms of some news and notes. And we've got the games coming up for tonight's schedule, as well as Christmas, so we might get into that. There should be a show tomorrow. I don't think I'll do a show Christmas morning. JF, go ahead, man. 60 seconds.
Yeah, Chris, with the whole Jason Tatum thing, I think a lot of players do take that sophomore slump. I'm not sure what's the cause of it. But I think, everybody just has to wait till the third year. I'm not going to cut out Scotty Barnes right now because, as you can see, Tyler Hero's doing his thing within his third year. So I definitely, I don't know. If they weren't going to trade Scotty earlier in the season for KD, then they need to hold on to him. But, I'm still sitting here proudly to say that Pat Riley has definitely won that Kyle Lowry trade. And I know that we're still missing a 4, but is Jeff Green available? Because, damn, I would definitely take him as well.
Man, you are not going to stop.
Jeff Green, you are down bad if you put Jeff
Green. We are not down bad if Jeff Green is a target. He's posterizing people at 36. Put that on
Jeff Green
Uncle Jeff.
He's just been doing this thing. Like, to be honest with you, any 4 right now.
Do the Heat still need rim pressure? Absolutely.
Yeah, we definitely need him.
This is nasty, man. Y'all are out here on the streets just accepting like.
We are not on the
I'm
streets.
sorry.
We
My
had
top,
nobody outside on no streets today. You take that back.
my top 6 players
don't
have
y'all
all gotten
welcome
better.
back-
I just need defensive versatility and a bench, good sir.
What was this Scotty Barnes
Why
KD
don't
bench?
y'all welcome back Hassan Whiteside? That's what y'all can do. Hassan Whiteside.
Hey, free agent
Needs a
acquisition of Sean
reunion.
Whiteside's right there for us, from what I
There
understand.
you go. Go take
That's
care
not
of
a
it.
bad idea.
You know what's
and get right.
it's going to be real bad if Miami craters the second half of the season.
I mean, cratering would require them to do nothing at the deadline, right? And that would be pretty bad.
And that's what it's looking like it's coming to.
No, that's not what it's looking like it's coming to at all. To who?
To me?
Yeah, because you want chaos, brother. That's
I
not.
don't
what's
want chaos, but what impactful move can you make?
Everybody,
correct.
We do this thing, and you guys know this isn't how basketball works. The team ceiling is set by the top 4 best players. Now, they have no contribution from their bench at all in any way, shape, or form all year. They just need to piece together the horses. They got 6 guys right now. Victor Oladipo looks good.
Yeah, okay.
And they're stringing together wins.
I just don't know the trust. All right, here's your news and notes, ladies and gentlemen. Jordan Clarkson and the Utah Jazz have started dialogue on a contract extension. I don't believe it is a contract extension necessarily for the Utah Jazz, more so they know what fiscal value he sees. So when they enter trade talks, they'll know to tell what the other team, like, hey, this is what he's looking for. Pretty common. When you're coming across a team with parts that are going to be as desirable as the Utah Jazz. Rival executives believe Trae Young can be the next superstar to request a trade if the Atlanta Hawks don't show progress in the playoffs. If this is true, he'll request a trade because nobody here believes the Atlanta Hawks will make any progress in this year's playoffs. Like if you are down below, you will have the green light. You will get on the HOV lane and you will bypass everybody so you can tell me how you believe the Atlanta Hawks are going to do better in the playoffs this year, because I ain't seeing it happen.
Do you know how many of Alex's tweets I have bookmarked?
Oh,
I
God.
have
It's
literal
hilarious.
screenshots of them, how the mighty are falling.
Space screen grabs too, by the way. I'm locked in.
The Washington Wizards are doing what the Washington Wizards always do, and that is pay to be bad. As they are coming out saying that they want to keep both Bradley Beal and Kristaps Porzingis in this middle-of-the-road strategy to get another star in
Kuz is
Washington.
available, baby. Listen, Kyle Kuzma and Jeff Green changing the trajectory. That's all I'm saying.
The Nets, Pacers, Jazz, Wizards, and I'm going to go ahead and say this now. A lot of people are going to be surprised because I still think he's going to Dallas. Dallas have been shopping around John Collins out of Atlanta, who seems destined to either always be in trade rumors or finally be traded. Either way, I think he's actually a buy low candidate. And there's a sneaky way where I could see him being picked up by Golden State, and that would be bad for the league, I think. I think he would fit phenomenally well in Golden State. So there's that. And the Los Angeles Lakers. That's right. They suck.
Hey.
The Los Angeles Lakers are likely to make trades.
No.
However, they will be of the smaller nature. Likeliest trade package options involve Patrick Beverley and Kendrick Nunn. They are not, as of yet, looking forward to trading Russell Westbrook. We have Mike from OC to react to that news. Mike, good morning.
Chris, I take it you're saying that laughing. I mean, we know the Lakers aren't doing
Oh, I'm smiling from ear to ear.
Yeah, we listen, I get it. All the anti-Laker fans around the country, there's a couple. Most of the people love the Lakers.
I no longer hate the Lakers. I just hate the fans. I don't hate the team.
You hate who?
He just says she hates the fans.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of y'all. Well, there's a lot of Laker fans. Ooh. Yeah, not you. But there's a lot of Laker fans that we all kind of collectively cringe.
Real Laker fans. I mean, come on. There's real Laker fans, and there's some people that's jumped on the LeBron bandwagon or Russ, whatever the hell it is. But listen, all this stuff about the trades and this and that, I don't believe a word of it, Chris. I was watching them play the Kings the other night. I'm going, how did we get here? How did we get to this point where we're so mid, so embarrassing, so awful? You know, really, it's like, what am I watching here? I had to flip to my Laker history book, start looking up all the bad years we had from this time to this time. Usually there's always a catch, right? We win a title. Maybe we don't win a title a couple of years. Then we come back and win a title. Then we get this player. Then we get that player. Really, it's been pretty bad for a while now, right? We got the title in 10. Rest in peace, Kobe. We had those bad years, after kind of he retired. Then we get LeBron in. We got that one a few years ago. But it's just like, where's the direction? Dr. Buss would not let this happen. Dr. Buss would never let this happen. He would have surrounded LeBron and Anthony with some players. He would have figured it out. I don't know what Genie's doing exactly. I don't know what this front office is doing. As long as the Rambuses are in there, it's terrible. I just don't understand what's going to happen here. LeBron's going to be gone another year or two anyhow. I don't know what's going on with Anthony Davis, what they're going to do there, what they're going to surround him. It's just, I don't see the direction. And then this year,
Well, I tell
you
you,
see what's on the court. It's just not good enough. I get the injuries are killing us, but it's just not good enough.
That's
It's
Sacramento
not
game,
right.
bro.
yeah,
It's not right. It's bad for the league. If the Lakers are not good, it's not good for the league. If the
well,
Celtics are not
look,
good,
if
it's not
you're
good for the
missing
league. And
clear
it's not.
direction, Mike, if you're missing clear direction, it's time to listen to fans of other teams tell you what's wrong. So let's go to Nat and JF to give their
Oh, I
opinion
know
on the
what's wrong.
Lakers.
Don't worry, but I'm just saying it's horrible.
Nat,
Go ahead.
your thoughts?
Yeah, just listen. It's a blessing and a curse. You get that AD trade, you get AD and everything, but that's the blessing because you get, the chip. The curse is it's just not the guy you continue to build around and keep going. He's unfortunately he just has a body that just doesn't hold up, and he was having a great season, so
Fantastic
far.
season.
But
Yeah.
he looked great. This was actually the most I enjoyed watching Anthony Davis in the Lakers uniform. I'll be totally honest with you this year. But then you look at the year you won the championship, and then the very next year you guys trade away and get rid of everything that worked for you the previous year, and that was a little like questionable because then, as you can see, it didn't work after that and still hasn't worked since. So I just think that there's
Very
some decisions
questionable.
that have been made that have not been good for the organization. I really don't know the where you guys can go at this point because I think Westbrook is playing well, but then what else can you
He's
do
not worth
with
a third
especially
of the
with
cap, though, right?
well,
At
yeah.
47
So
million,
it's
Russ is playing good, but he's not playing like a
right.
40. He's not coming off the bench. It's not worth $47 million for the Lakers.
Absolutely. So that's where the issue lies, and we'll just see. We have to ride it out, Mike.
Write it
How
out.
did you not cover a 6-point spread in the back door against the Kings, Mike?
Tony, don't be betting on the Lakers.
Tony still
Tony, you
did it.
pissed off? What? The shot game? What game?
Money,
It's all about
money
I never
rules the
bet.
world.
I never bet.
Lakers unders for the rest of my fucking life, Mike. That's all I'm doing.
Painful.
JF, what are your thoughts on the Lakers as another team whose primary stars is kind of like at a peak where he needs to have every piece around them fit, and like right now it's not working in Miami or Los Angeles. What do you got for the Lakers?
See, the thing is, Chris, Pat Riley actually laid out the blueprint for LeBron James and how to win with him. A lot of people didn't take that blueprint and run with it. They just listened to LeBron a lot more instead of listening to the head organization and seeing what's best for the team instead of what's best for LeBron. Because when we start listening to LeBron, we drafted Shabazz Napier. And I don't know about you, Chris, but that's somebody that I have nightmares still to this day. I think the problem with the Lakers...
Shots.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
Leave Shabazz out of this. He ain't nothing to nobody.
He didn't do nothing. You're right. Exactly that.
Yeah, you set him up for that.
Boston, stand up. That's all that was. She's just doing what she's supposed to do, y'all. Let's keep it moving.
And that's what happens when you get a product out of Boston. That's all I got to say. But, Chris, moving on to the Lakers, I think what's happening right now is that Jeanie Buss is focused on this bad relationship she has with this horrible comedian because he's already said some crazy things about LeBron. And I'm not sure if LeBron's the one to stay there, but I think right now they need to get somebody who's an actual NBA head in there to help her out. I think Magic leaving was a bad thing to happen. Rob Pelinka coming in, I'm not sure if we can still credit him, even though he did win a championship. I don't know if we still can credit him as being that general manager, but it's a shame seeing LeBron go out like this. He might just wait for Bronny to come to the league so he can play with him.
So she's dating a comedian?
She's engaged.
Is it
She's
Pete
engaged.
Davidson?
Apparently.
Wait, okay, so I don't follow this. What?
Yeah, so that's why I said she's not
You know
really
what?
focused
Let
on
her
the
do what
Lakers,
she
Chris.
wants, guys.
Jay Moore?
Frick, I don't
They,
care.
exactly.
Wait, that Jay Moore?
Jay, like
Jay
the
Moore.
Jerry Maguire dude?
Yes, Chris. Yes.
You guys got to pile on this, honestly.
That's what I'm saying, Chris. Like, look
Chris,
what's happening within the front office.
That's where you roll out here.
Jay Moore? Oh my God, that guy! Didn't he have a sports show that like went?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. He was a big comedian for a while, though. He was kind of hot there in the
Please allow funny
90s.
guys to thrive, or else I have no bag.
Yeah, Jay was funny at the time. I don't care about any of that.
So, Chris, like, I just want to finish this point. The Lakers are going to head towards just like Jeannie Buss's relationship. It's a joke.
Hey, no, I'm all for it. Like, I laughed at him. He had a shtick for stand up. Better actor.
One thing about the Lakers front office.
Go ahead.
Say one thing.
Go ahead.
The man that's down the hall at Crypto.com, the logo, my first sports hero, the man I saw play at the Forum several times with Wilt Milgem. Come home. Please come home, Jerry. Come home. We need you. We need you.
One of Brian Colangelo's burners have to be out there.
We'll give you anything you want. We'll give you that bonus you're promised by Dr. Buss over $1 million when you sign Shaq. We'll give you a piece of the team which you thought you were going to get. And that's what led to this division. This is what led to you leaving. We love you, Jerry. Don't worry. Yeah. Come home. Get away from those bum-ass Clippers. Get away from that one Western Conference finalist team, the San Diego Clippers, the Buffalo Braves, whatever the hell they are. Come home. Please, I beg you. That's all I got.
I learned two things today. I learned that Jay Moore is the GOAT, and I learned that the Lakers will never apologize because that's what Jerry wants. Jeannie Buss is not apologizing to Jerry West any day soon.
Chris,
man.
He deserved a piece of the team.
He did.
If there's any player, man synonymous with any organization in all of sports, it's Jerry West and the Lakers.
And he thought he was going to get it too.
He built the Lakers. He built the Lakers into that brand that it is. He started it. He started it.
Let me get moving on. I've got like this message here. Hold up. Okay. My aunt's gutter fell, so sorry. Hey, clean your gutters. Gutters. If you don't clean your gutters and it freezes, water gets trapped in between the leaves, and especially if your gutter is clogged, what happens is ice volumizes, becomes heavier, and your gutters fall off. So winterize your home, people. Adulting sucks, but get it done. Man, Jay Moore. Shout out Jay Moore. Like, how does Phil Jackson feel?
They're still good friends, apparently, so it's all good.
Phil Jackson. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have games tonight. But before I do that, if you are in this winter snowstorm, do two things. One, stay inside and stay warm. Two, head over to the Hoop Spaces merch store and put you in for one of these Gildan Heavy Blended Hoop Spaces hoodies. It's nice and warm. I'm wearing it right now. $45. Like, help a brother out so we can continue to build this. And hopefully, come the end of the first week of January, you'll see why your help is important, right? Because I don't have any of this opportunity without you, the listener, and without my friends here that came with me from Clubhouse, Sean, Malika, and Nat, who are up here. And it's something that I always say. Sean last time said big ups to you, but once again, thank you for believing in what I saw, because there wouldn't be a Hoop Spaces without the likes of Sean, Malika, and Nat. It's just truth. There would be a type of hoop spaces, but it would be different because like what I saw was a path of individual growth for dope people who had a passion for basketball. So once again, thank you. There you go. We'll get Rare, D, and Alex up here in a moment. Tonight, we have a full slate of games. The Orlando Magic host the San Antonio Spurs. The Sixers host the Clippers, both games at 7. Atlanta will be hosting Detroit, Boston, Minnesota, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Toronto, and the Knicks and Bulls do battle again in MSG. All of these games, 7:30, all of them league pass except for Brooklyn and Milwaukee. That'll be on NBA TV. On 8 o'clock, Miami and Indiana, Houston and Dallas, Oklahoma City and New Orleans. Miami needs this win. if Miami cannot start stringing together 3 games, 4-game win streaks, they're going to be in trouble in terms of keeping up with the likes of New York, who's on pace now to have a very good season. And I can't wait for the day where Sean and all of Nick's Twitter can live, doing what they do best, tearing down other teams. I love it. Denver and Portland, 9 p.m. Denver is actually now number 1 because they hold the tiebreaker over Memphis. Phoenix and Memphis will be probably the game of the night. Unfortunately, it's on ESPN. There you go. I said it. It's hard. It's hard. I don't know how some of y'all do it. Sacramento, Washington, 10 p.m. Charlotte and Los Angeles Lakers, your closeout game at the Staples Center because I still can't. I have cryptos.
Can't call it the crypt.
It's bad.
No one calls it the crypt, by the way.
Like they're paying money to be made fun of.
Hey, take that money and get some players.
10:30. They host the woeful Charlotte Hornets, Malika Walker's second team. All right, there you go.
Do you guys stay up and watch the Laker games that they start at 10:30? Any East Coasters, or when your team comes west?
It depends. Usually it's the first
weekends.
Yeah,
I
usually
do.
it's the.
I'm up late. I'm a person I'm a vampire. Like I'm up late and
You there, Chris?
I struggle in the
Yeah,
morning.
I'm here.
Oh yeah. Weekends, but not like Tuesday night 10:30. Like listen, Knicks Lakers. I love Knicks Lakers because it's like a good vibe, but I hate Knicks Lakers. It's like I'm gonna be up till 1 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturdays. Yes. All the other ones it's usually the first game on in the morning.
Lakers a few weeks ago. That was
That's a normal for me.
Kind of
I have to say.
I don't. I like sleep. It's hard for me to fall asleep. It's hard for me to stay asleep. So I try to get as much as possible. I'm old, and I'm not even old. Grindhouse Grizz is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. A dope follow for Memphis Grizzlies content. He is ecstatic, smiling ear to ear because Desmond Bain will be back on Friday. Issa Kari, photographer extraordinaire, an emotional storyteller through pictures and words, as well as he hosts spaces and other get-ups across his social media platforms. If you are actually in the tri-state and you need a pro, shoot him a follow and DM him. He's got great work. He's got a good portfolio. Check it out. BG, USA Today. It's good to see you, my man. Hope you're doing well. Kent, the old clam in the mudflats of Portland, is ecstatic. The Portland Trailblazers are seeing their best season in a long time. Dame is now the leading scorer in Portland Trailblazers history. And you know what? To a lot of fans, that means actually more to them than what you would understand. Because let's be honest, Portland is not a free agency destination. And Damian has, from day one said this is where he wants to be. And he's lived it. And I think we have to go ahead and give the fans and Damian Lillard credit because they're doing phenomenal against what most people thought, including myself. I thought that they were going to be 500, similar to what they were before, struggling with 2, smallish guards who score. But they've shored up the defense. Chauncey Billups has got the guys playing hard. But we'll see once we get into the trade season what moves they might need to make to keep up with the moves everybody else makes. Hoop Spaces Ryan is in the building. Probably working on integrating the Shopify store. We'll fix that sometime over the holiday week. Big Al, the 2-minute warning. Dope Sixers fans here. Jess another Raptors fan who is giving me thumbs down because she doesn't like the negative Raptors talk. It's okay, Jess. Like we all get it. Like all y'all were trying to tell me Doc Rivers wasn't a great coach. Now look at you. Like you're wrong. Shout out to Warren, day one from Clubhouse, coming on over here to Twitter Spaces. We appreciate it. Malika, go ahead.
With the Raptors, I'm not Raptors. With the Blazers, I really like Arfini Simons. With Damian Lillard, that looks to be a really good combination for them. And I'm just curious of how far they're going to go when it comes to the playoffs. I remember talking to Nat last season about the midness and people coveting McCollum, who looks to be a good fit. So it was good that he was moved. Nat was right. He needs to be moved. He needs to be traded. But yeah, I just wanted to give some love to Anfernee Simons and Jeremy Grant. They both are doing, they're good pieces for Portland.
Yeah, I think I think unfortunately for them, like they're gonna have to make a decision on Nurkic, and that's gonna choose the course of the team. Because if you look at it, the only remaining pieces from what we view mentally and memory of the Trailblazers on that team are Damian Lillard and Yusuf Nurkic, and unfortunately, I just don't think he's going to provide enough consistently enough to really help them in a long-term series. I mean, I kind of wish it was like they had Clint Capella. I think he would be a great fit, better rebounder, rim runner, which is what they're sorely lacking. And he would be able to screen all four players in a quasi 4-out offense, as Jeremy Grant's really more of a 3 than a 4. Justice Winslow, I've shouted him out before. I think we should do it again. A lot of people wrote him off. He's made his lane in the NBA. He'll be here for a while. Get used to it. Shaedon Sharpe is going to be a good player, but so is Keon Johnson. That was the pick, not the pick, but the player that they wanted from the Clippers for the Norm Powell trade. And I think it's at the point where they don't even really worry about Gary Payton II coming back or not, because Keon Johnson has been able to show that he can stay on the pro roster. So I'm looking for more things from him. It's dope that we can actually talk Blazers. I wish. Wow, I like the name is just blanked all of a sudden, even though I see the profile picture.
You mean Dia?
Yes, Dia. Wow, it's like weird. Yeah, because she's usually the resident Blazers fan that comes up here. The Trailcasters is also another group, but it's really too early for them and they're at work. All right, so there you go. Yeah, like I love the story. I just don't see them really doing much in the playoffs. Sad. All right. Alex, good morning. A team that wanted to tank found out they are too good to tank. That is your squad, the Oklahoma City Thunder. What do you got?
Good morning to you as well, Chris, and everyone else listening and participating in the space. I'm pretty satisfied with where Oklahoma City is right now, but this is my main objective with this team. To me, it's all about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander this season. You've got to keep him happy. You don't want him becoming unhappy and requesting to trade, because basically you'd be starting from scratch again, because yes, they have some other nice players they've acquired, but he is the foundation right now. And I do think that there's a chance Chet could be part of it, but he's yet to play a game yet, so you don't know what he is. But to me, get him in the All-Star game, see if you can help him win the scoring title, and keep him happy. And then if the second half of the season after he's made the All-Star game, if it's not looking as great, shut the rest of the team down then. And because I do not want to see the Thunder miss the play-in by a game. That would be a disastrous year for me, because to me, they either need to be in the play-in to show progress and get these young players they've accumulated some experience in a playoff type situation, or they need to be near the bottom, because if they miss the play-in by a game, then this would be a completely wasted year to me. You accomplish basically nothing.
It is a mercurial team to watch. I don't understand. Well, let me actually phrase it this way. This is how good Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is. Right now, the most accepted starting lineup for the Oklahoma City Thunder is Jeremiah Robinson Earl at the 5, and either Alexei Pukashevsky or the rookie Jalen Williams, who, by the way, is a shooting guard, at power forward, Lugan Dortz at small forward, Josh Giddey at shooting guard, and SGA point guard. They are only 4 games under 500, and ladies and gentlemen, I don't understand how. Like they don't have anybody who rebounds. They don't have anybody who hits shots consistently outside of SGA.
And I do completely believe that is by design as well. To me, I think there is a complete reason why Sam Presti has kept a formidable, serviceable, and elite big man off this team. It's because you have to have that to win nowadays. And to me, as soon as Oklahoma City gets that, I'm not saying that it's championship level, but I do think that they would be consistently in the play-in conversation, maybe even consistently in the conversation for the 6th seed. But I think it's completely by design why Sam Presti has kept a big man off this team.
All right, I can see that. Anybody have any thoughts on Oklahoma City, or specifically Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who there are plenty of people who are going to vote him in. I believe he's an all-star. I do not have him as an all-star starter out the West. Sorry.
I don't think he's a starter either. I think there's just too many guards in the West. If the Thunder were in the East, or specifically if he was in the East, I think there could be a chance he could be a starter, but I just don't think he's a starter this year. The Thunder don't have the record there, and there's just too many great point guards in the West. Guards overall.
Yeah, I agree. Cool. Malika, go ahead. Anybody else got any thoughts on the Thunder?
I mean, I think on the West, like the All-Stars will most likely be Ja, and I don't see Steph, even though he's injured. I don't see Steph not getting.
Well, it's probably John Luka because Steph is injured, right?
Yeah, but Warrior fans are going to vote the hell out of Steph. That's a popularity contest. I think it should be Luka and Ja or Shai, but we'll see what the votes do. You know how Steph fans are. That's my only thing.
I mean, I don't anticipate Steph playing in the game either way, just because of the injury.
But it's a popularity contest.
Absolutely, he'll probably be the starter, but he's not going to actually start the game. It'll probably end up being Ja and Luka, and I don't disagree with that at all. I mean, I think they're both great.
Yep, I agree.
Hey, we also cannot rule out De'Aaron Fox, okay? And like, it sounds funny, but like
this coach's vote.
No, this Swifties thing is actually legit.
Are we talking about? You said De'Aaron Fox?
So De'Aaron Fox is a Taylor Swift fan.
Is he finally getting some? Wait a minute. Oh my goodness. Go ahead.
Wait, what?
So De'Aaron Fox is a Taylor Swift fan.
Chris. Come back,
what?
Chris.
What? I'm here.
Like, do you bringing up Taylor Swift? Like,
I'm trying to explain something. Like, let me explain.
I think I know exactly where this is going.
So De'Aaron Fox is a Taylor Swift fan. And the story of his origination of being a Taylor Swift fan is that his wife played music for him specifically, and he's like, yo, she makes great music. They are activated, and they don't even watch basketball. You got these 11 and 12 and 13-year-old Swift fans voting De'Aaron Fox into the NBA All-Star game.
Chris, I thought that I was gonna sit back and hear you say some profound thing about De'Aaron Fox having a really good season, and you come back and mention Taylor Swift.
Hey, you got to understand the peoples, though. You got to get the people what they want.
Didn't you just say it's a popularity contest? That's popularity.
That Steph Curry moves the needle, and he is everybody's favorite player that's not on their own team. Of course, he's gonna be.
The reason why we can't vote on Twitter is because of K-pop fans.
K-pop, right? You got a whole Asia that's gonna vote for Steph. People want to see Curry, man. You gotta get.
So now to counteract that, De'Aaron Fox has the Swifties.
Oh my God! Shout out
That's
to De'Aaron
intense.
Fox. I'm not a part of this. I actually like your game. You're one of my favorite guards. If you're listening, I
love the game. 23, 5, 6, 40%. I mean, 50% from the field. Working great with Domantas Sabonis. With Domas. It's an outstanding duo. And a lot of people didn't think they were going to actually work with each other, and they tend to actually look better than most guard, center combos.
The only reason I would count out the Swifties is because of how the NBA changed how the All-Star voting works a few years ago when Boban nearly made it in as a starter. And then they made it where I think it's 25% meat. That would have been great. That would have been an all-time All-Star game moment. But I think isn't it 25% media, 25% players, and 50% fans? Is it still like that?
I don't know. I don't pay attention because the All-Star vote doesn't matter anymore.
It's like that. It's the fan votes blunted for.
Yeah, I had. So I'm in a group chat with bona fide reporters, and I have to argue tooth and nail about Tyrese Halliburton. And I'm like, you watch basketball every day. There is no guard in the East that is performing better than Tyrese Halliburton. Stop it. Stop.
No doubt.
Stop.
He is so good. So good. I love watching him play.
Are some of them voting? Do some of them are
yes.
any of them voting? So
yes.
And they don't see it?
They're voting essentially for popularity, I think.
Look, writers are the same group that voted Andre Iguodala All-Star. Finals MVP. They're very fallible.
And so I'm arguing look, you can argue eye test, you can argue statistical production, you just got to be consistent. And now we're going to be having to hope that, Tyrese Halliburton gets in over LaMelo Ball because LaMelo Ball is probably going to get the higher fan vote. And then Tyrese Halliburton is going to come. What my fear is what's going to happen is going to come down to the coach having to decide between one or two players. Both players are equally deserving, but both players are more deserving than those voted in.
Do people actually still watch the All-Star game these days? I haven't watched the All-Star game in how many years?
They started coming back when they changed the
when they changed the format. Yeah, people started watching when they changed the format.
It's coming back.
That last few minutes when they go. That's when they start playing. The way they should play. Yeah.
I want to see them do one-on-one battles. That's what I want to see. I want to see Steph versus who's it?
Yeah, something
like that.
What I want to see
anybody here old enough to remember when they used to do horse?
I want to see them do it on the court, actually put the players on the court and have them pick out the captain.
Real quick, they had that, and it was shown on Wide World of Sports on ABC. All right. They took the greats who were recently retired at the time, and they played one-on-ones. They had Horse, if you heard Bleacher Dave. They had Horse as well. But that's why Tracy McGrady formed this one-on-one league was for this very purpose, right? So if you want to see some of this one-on-one, check out Tracy McGrady's one-on-one league. That's why I'm
I remember Pistol Pete versus Kareem in a game of horse.
There was Kareem versus Gervin one-on-one. There was Kareem versus Dr. J one-on-one. Kareem, Pistol Pete, Horse, Kareem, and he had Horse with one more player, and I can't think. Lakers.
I don't know, but what about current players, Chris?
Yes. Sorry. Go ahead, Nat. My bad.
No, it's all good. I was just wondering, I'm meaning the All-Star game, current players, Ja versus De'Aaron Fox.
Well, they don't want to. They don't want to do that probably because of the injury liability. Imagine going one-on-one and they come down on an ankle bad.
Okay, gotcha.
I think one reason current players don't want to do it is so if they don't look as good, that they're not going to get dragged on social media.
Well, they're going to get dragged anyway.
I think that's important to the young players. I think it's important to them.
They're going to get dragged anyway. Daniel Gafford's still getting dragged. Poor Daniel Gafford, man. I thought his hamstring was gone. KD did him nice. Gosh.
Man, KD is still so good. So good. And to have the injuries he's had over his career, and he's literally never missed a beat. And I don't count when he's initially coming back from one of them. But man, Kevin Durant is so. Do you think he could have been the all-time leading scorer if he wouldn't have had so many different bad injuries and missed so much time?
I mean, at this point, when it comes down to all-time leading scorer, it's a longevity issue. So I don't. LeBron's longevity is historic. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah,
We
I
will
don't, I
never
don't
see
think
another
so.
player with
You look
LeBron's
at
longevity.
Kareem,
I wouldn't
Malone,
say that.
LeBron. They got body type, longevity.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
say that because I actually think that I'm not going to be quick to say. Although I hear what you're saying, I actually want to see how long Giannis can go because I think that the older he gets, they're going to plant him similar to how they used to do KG when KG got older at that 5 position. And as big as he is, and with his length, I think he's going to be effective for a while, and even after, not doing the stuff he's doing now, but I think that he has a shot to get close. So I want to see how long Giannis can go and see what he can do at the older age of 38, 39 years old. I still actually think he's still going to be playing at that time.
What's happened to the hook shot? Speaking of all-time greatest scorers.
I don't know, but they need to bring it back. There's so many great big men. They need to bring it back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are on the back end of a bitterly cold, still negative 4 degrees where I'm at day. I hope you are staying warm.
It's -9 where I am, so I am in the frozen club.
Yep. I hope you are all staying warm and safe. Signs of frostbite, discoloration from red to blue, and then to white. If you get to white, that's a get indoors immediately. And you have to warm yourself up, but you have to warm yourself up in a specific way. Otherwise, you have a chance to damage muscle tissue. After white, that is actually frostbite. And then that's when you definitely need to go seek medical attention for those who have to go out if you're stuck in this cold weather.
I have to go out tonight because of the Nets Bucks game that I have a ticket to.
Mm-hmm.
But
you might be fine.
I will be in for the rest of the weekend. I am not messing with that.
Yeah. Had a half quart of wood delivered a couple days ago. We might need another one next week. It's been nonstop burning this fire from 4 a.m. to bedtime. It's 49 degrees here. It's outrageous.
Jeez.
I will be out on Saturday night to celebrate Christmas Eve with the family, and I may or may not be traveling with 2 space heaters at the request of the family.
Yeah, you don't understand, Chris. This is an emergency out here.
I've lived out there. It's 49. You put on a hoodie. In fact, you can go up there and pick one up for $45 at the Hoop Spaces merch store. Ding!
I've seen those. Those are nice. I like the T-shirts too.
Appreciate it. All the proceeds help me actually be viable because, like, I'm not gonna lie, like there are goals to hit, but when you talk about like in terms of lost wages, like I could have, I've lost not working trying to build this. So, yeah, it is an interesting experience building it up from scratch.
All right, what do I find? They wouldn't destroy it with the merch, Chris.
I'll put it up here so it's easy. It's actually you can go onto my profile. It's the pinned tweet.
If they wouldn't destroy it in seconds, I'd cop one of the stuffed animals too. But it would be destroyed in seconds.
Yeah. My son wanted to make that. I was like, I don't know if anybody's gonna want that, but he's like, it's so cute. And I'm like, all right, whatever.
There will be people who buy it for dogs who don't destroy toys in the blink of an eye, for sure. For sure.
So there you go. There's my read. The reads for mine aren't as good as my reads for others because, like, I'm built that way. Rare Dominance is here as well. I want to say what's up. Good morning to you or good afternoon. What is on your mind in the NBA world today?
What is on my mind today? Just trying to see how the Hawks gonna lose another game tonight. That's all I'm trying to see. See if we're gonna actually beat Detroit or see if we're gonna find a way to lose in the fourth quarter again. That's the only thing on my mind right now. Trying to see how long it's gonna be before they finally fire Nate McMillan or what's gonna happen. Because every week, every day, something bad happens and it doesn't favor the Hawks. So that's all I'm trying to see.
All right. Well, when it comes to the Hawks, I'm going to say that I don't even think it matters. I just they just don't have the pieces. Jalen Johnson is I think a good prospect, and I think he can blossom into a fine replacement for John Collins. He's just not there yet. He's made some like he was in the corner and he caught the pass and he hit a beautiful pump fake. But he took the step back before he went forward, so he stepped out of bounds. And he does one of those every game. Every game he does one of those, and it drives me crazy. AJ Griffin is a legit shooter, but the problem that he has is he's not going to be able to supplant DeJounte Murray at the 2, and he's just not as good of a defender as DeAndre Hunter, so it's hard to get him minutes at the 3 because DeAndre Hunter tends to
but why we can't just have depth though? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, that's because you don't have good depth pieces, man. Aaron Holiday was a third stringer.
But that's all because of Nate. They be trying to get pieces to help Nate because Nate want all these veterans to play. We're not there yet. I keep trying to tell folks, just 2-3 years ago, we was in a rebuild. Now all of a sudden we championship. No, we haven't developed together as a team. I keep telling folks that, but for some reason I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, no, but what you're not understanding is you have expectations, right? Like the idea of rebuilding, developing went out the window as soon as you beat the Philadelphia 76ers and went to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I know I understand that, but you still got to develop as a team. I'm not saying players development. I'm talking about as a team, we haven't developed yet. And it's like every year we get rid of somebody and bring somebody else in. It's like, yeah, this a piece. But I'm like, we still don't have no identity. We still haven't developed as a team. And they need to decide what they're going to do with Collins. That for 2-3 years, that's another thing they need to decide to do. If y'all going to keep him and try to evolve him or get rid of him, y'all going to either do one or the other.
But at that point, Red, the question then is, what's the common denominator? And the common denominator is Trae.
Yeah. Might just need the right coach. I don't know. But you might be right. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like, you watch them and you'll just see some nights, and you'll see when we find, like, the first game of the season or the first 2-3 games of the season. It's like when they was getting Collins the ball, man, we was looking like a better team. And then it's like somebody went and said, no, get Collins out of the paint, and we got to get Clint involved. And it's just, ever since then, it's been looking horrible. Like, I don't know. Like,
it's never.
It's just one of those things. It's just when you get in the fourth quarter, it's like we up 10, and it's like, how we gonna find a way to lose this game tonight? And it's the same way, and it's the same way every time.
It's because every time you sit Trae Young,
ISO.
It's because every time you sit Trae Young with DeJounte Murray, all you have is Aaron Holiday and Bogdan Bogdanović. That's why.
Like
Bogey's gonna shoot you 5 for 15, and Aaron's gonna add 1 for 7.
Oh no, I know it. I feel like them cats, Bogey. But I feel like them Holiday boys should not want to be getting minutes. Like I feel like there's other people that should be getting the minutes, but that's something else. I like Culver. Culver came in, balled out a little bit, and then all of a sudden he went back to the bench, and we haven't seen from him then. It's like you'll put some people in the game, and they be like, "Oh, what are y'all doing? Like this man's still 23. You might can see what you can get out of him." But I don't know. I be telling, I'm just a fan. I'm a homer, so I don't know what I be talking about. But I'm like, do y'all watch what I watch every week? But hey,
let me get some other people's thoughts here on the Atlanta Hawks for you, so you can hear some other fans. We'll go to Alex first. We'll see what Nat has to say. Maybe Bleacher Dave and Free Thug will come in to add his thoughts on the Atlanta Hawks. Go ahead, Alex.
I just got to add about the Atlanta Hawks. I don't get to see them as much as I'd like because it feels like they are constantly playing when the Thunder do. But when I have got to watch the Hawks, and I've had the same thought for the past few years, they remind me a lot of the Oklahoma City Thunder back in the day when they were on the come up. And then when they got to the conference finals as early as they did, that really made me remember liking them to the Thunder when they were coming up with Russ and KD. And I do think that they need a different coach because I felt like Oklahoma City should have made a change a lot sooner than they did. And I think Atlanta should as well. I don't know who the next coach should be, but I do feel like you've got to make a change, especially since now you have literally seen him and Trae butting heads. And personally, I hated what Trae did earlier this year where he just doesn't show up for a game because he gets in that argument with the coach. You've got to get a different coach in there. You're going to end up losing Trae Young. And I completely agree with what you guys were saying about the isolation ball. Again, that so much reminds me of the Thunder because you was constantly seeing isolation between Russ and KD. But the problem is with Atlanta is that worked for Oklahoma City because you had 2 generational talents on your team. I think Trae Young is very good, and now I think DeJounte Murray is very good, but they're not Russ and KD. And that's why the isolation doesn't work because as good as they are, the opposing team can put something together on the defense to slow it down. And Atlanta's got to make some changes. They're going to end up losing Trae Young.
All right, there you go. Appreciate it.
I think the Trae Young experiment's over. He brought.
I'm kind of with you, Dave.
They brought in Travis Schlenk from the Warriors to try and imitate and rebuild Atlanta Hawks in Golden State's image. Trae Young was going to be the next coming of Stephen Curry, and there is no such thing. His disruptiveness with the team earlier this year, as System was speaking about, and his inability to play well with DeJounte. It's just not looking like that this is going to be solvable. And I heard something on a different channel outlet earlier that he may be the next rookie scale max dude looking to be out of there. Clearly, if they've changed their general manager, things are not well in the Dirty South.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know. I agree with you. Trust me, I agree with you.
Nat, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this is along the lines of what I think a lot of us were saying early in the season, Chris, when Alex would come up here and troll, about the Hawks and everything, how they're going back to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think now you're starting to see what a lot of us were saying. Trae Young is a great talent, and it's not a guy that you can just give away, it's over, we got to look elsewhere. The guy is really talented. Unfortunately, he comes with some issues, a lot of ego. He I think is in his own way, and I think he's in the team's way. With that being said, Nate McMillan, I think he overstays his welcome everywhere he goes. Although I think he is a good coach, I think he has a limit. There is a limit that you can have him on your team, coaching your team, and you got to kind of move on. So I think it's a number of things that need to happen in Atlanta. I do think that I think that they have a team that can be fixed still because they have some pieces. Toronto and Atlanta should constantly be on the damn phone, and I don't understand. If they're not, I don't understand why. They have something that the other wants and could use and continue their building of their own teams. You guys need a wing bad, a guy that actually has, the know-how to score, defend, and play team basketball. There's a couple of guys over there in Toronto that could solve that issue. So I think that, that might be a nice trade partner to see what you guys can do.
So one question, you don't think Trae Hunter is that?
I do not. I think he is a nice compliment. I think he is a guy that can come off the bench, but I don't. I don't
know. I guess I don't be watching because whenever time I see him, they finally give him the ball, he scores. But it's like, I don't know. I don't know because I've seen some games where he get the ball. You said what?
Can he score 20 consistently? Do you see him getting to that point?
I think he could.
You think so? Okay.
I think he could. If they knew how to use, if they use him how they use him at Virginia, I think he could. Because at Virginia they use him on backdoor cuts, let him go down in the post, bag him down, shoot the shot. He has a game. They just don't know how to use him.
Okay. Would you say? And Chris, you can jump in too, right? Would you say Hunter is better than OG or just as good?
No.
Would I say that?
Nah.
And yeah. Would you? I knew what Chris was gonna say.
Yeah.
But
No.
What about you?
I would.
Okay. Yeah.
DeAndre Hunter's ceiling is Trevor Ariza, and he's not even near Trevor Ariza right now.
I don't think so. I think he could be a consistent 20-point scorer.
See that, but that's the thing, and this is where I think a lot of us disagree, right? I don't see Hunter as being that person. He's not that guy. But he's a nice compliment. He's a guy that you can bring in off the bench. He's going to give you a spark. He's going to give you something, and he's going to be important to a team running to a championship or something like that, or a team that wants to contend. He's going to be a guy that you can depend on.
Yeah, but to get him 20 points now, you're talking 18 shots. He's not getting 18 shots.
That's my point, though. I know he's not.
But I don't think he needs 18 shots to score 20. He's very efficient.
This is a wings league, and what I'm saying is there is some wings over there in Toronto that guaranteed if they get on your team, you will forget about this conversation.
Yeah, you say he's really efficient. He's only had one season above 44%. Like he's league average shooting, man.
Like,
Like,
did y'all see him in the playoffs last year? He was the only
but
one scoring in the playoffs last year.
that's a small sample size in the playoffs. Why can't he
No,
replicate
that's
that in the
not a
regular
small.
season?
That dude was a championship caliber player.
I
He
didn't
won a
see
championship in
again. I
college.
never said he
I'm sorry.
wasn't. I never said he
You gotta
wasn't.
get, man. Atlanta got pieces. You gotta feed
See,
them the ball.
Rare. You are a homer. You are
No,
going
it's not about
all
me being a
homer.
homer. I've seen his talent before. I've seen where he actually get the ball and get a chance to do stuff.
Yeah,
He can
I
score.
hear you. He's got 160 starts. He's averaging 13.5 points per game.
But actually, this year he's on a career high. He's at 15-4.
He's at 12 shots. He's going to need 18. He's not getting 18. Like, it's just math.
I just also think that, you know, I think a lot of us can be
But
homers and we love our, and we hold on one second, Rare. We love our teams and all that stuff like that. But there is a thing where you fall so in love with one specific player or what they could be, and then all of a sudden 5 years pass and they're still stuck on what they could be and they don't reach that, and then you're wondering what happened. You can't hold on to people because you like them, you know, because, oh, I think they can be this. You kind of got to see the forest through the trees and say, hey, man, you know what? I see who you are or what you can be. Maybe there's a better position for you off the bench, and we got to get somebody in here that can.
Oops, my bad. I was trying to bring somebody upstage, Nat. That's my bad.
But hold on.
My bad.
But
So,
Drake wasn't that player for me, though. Cam was that player for me.
Where I hear you. Just let me get this off. I hear you. But I'm just saying, like, you know, I just think that we have to be honest with those players and stuff, and even the organization, that, you know, we like what you do. We appreciate, you know, your skill set. It might be best utilized off the bench, you know, and get somebody in there that can actually produce a solid 20 points and then some, and do other things in the game that's going to make an imprint. So waiting too long, falling in love with potential, it always gets people in trouble.
He is the Atlanta Hawks version of Kelly Oubre Jr. He is going to be better when he leaves Atlanta. Like, that's all it is, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like,
Kelly Oubre, yeah.
Oh, wait, you just said that Dre could be a 20-point game scorer. Guess who's playing and scoring 20 points a game? His name ain't DeAndre Hunter. His name's Kelly Oubre. Like, Kelly
Oubre. So you
Oubre.
would have Kelly Oubre instead of Dre Hunter?
Yes.
Why?
Well, if you look at 190 starts and you look at what he's done this year when he's had the volume at 18 shots, he's putting up 20.8, 5, and he actually defends better, right? DeAndre Hunter was built as a wing who could defend, and yet he hasn't really consistently been a wing who can defend. Like I said, to me, his ceiling is when Trevor Ariza was at his prime, and he ain't hit it yet. Like, can he become better? Absolutely. But like right now, he's not the piece for Atlanta that will cement what they need. That third piece that can be the wheel for DeJounte and Trey. Because until Trey develops this off-ball game that everybody's saying that he's supposed to be the next Curry, I'm not saying you are, Rare. I'm just saying there are people saying that that's what he needs to do. He's never going to be him, right? Like, they need somebody like a Chris Middleton. They need somebody like a Tobias Harris. They need somebody who's going to be able to give you the 17, 6, and 3 and be the equalizer. And DeAndre Hunter isn't that. John Collins, for them, isn't that. Clint Capella sure as hell ain't that. Neither is Onyeka Okongwu.
But isn't that coaching, though? But
Huh?
isn't that coaching? But isn't that coaching?
Well, part of it is coaching, and part of it is just.
I mean, we have seen that they can do that when they have the right coaches.
If I coach Marcus Smart to be Steph Curry, he's going to be Steph Curry. So if I get the right coach,
I never said I thought.
That's why I said not you.
I never thought Trey.
I said not you. We've had that talk.
We've already had that talk. I never thought. I thought Trey was going to. What I always thought Trey was going to be was this, maybe average like 30 and maybe 12 assists a game. That's what I thought. I never thought he was going to what's name like.
So
like the Razzle Dazzle, but I like him being a more penetrated this and then. Sometimes when he feel it, he can shoot that three and hit it. But yeah, I didn't never think he was going to be the
real quick, back to your question. Yes, it's partly coaching, but also when do we start attributing the blame to Trey? Because he's got some culpability here, and like people don't want to hear it.
I think he has I think he has leadership problems. Like I think he needs to step up and be a leader. Yes, it's some of it's Trae Young too. I would agree with you on that.
All right,
like,
let me get Free Thug in here. Let me get Free Thug in here because we only got 15 minutes. He's been waiting. I want to make sure we get him and Darius in here. Free Thug, thank you for your patience. Your thoughts?
You know, last time I was here, I said I wasn't going to speak on the Hawks until after All-Star.
Yes, I remember that.
But you did some things. I mean, well, first off, y'all are right. DeAndre Hunter is not the piece. Like, he's good, but he's not great. And we need someone great. But and it's the same for John Collins. You know, they're both just like, fries with no salt.
Damn. But I hope they didn't hear you say that. They're gonna be mad.
Man, it's cool. I'm not a basketball player, so I don't even care. But shit. Okay, sorry. Whew. My main point, you can't. The media. My main point. The reason why I came up here, I've noticed it past 2.5 years, I guess now. Every year around December, January, there's some big media story that's like painting Trae Young in a horrible light, and that inversely horribly affects his All-Star voting. I don't like this. You can't put all the blame on Trae Young. You know, when Utah was having a lot of their problems, you didn't see people putting all of the blame on Donovan Mitchell.
Yes, yeah, we did. A lot of us.
Not all of them.
Yes, they did.
I'm gonna tell you, Free Thug. The thing that we heard the most was Donovan Mitchell can't pass to Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, I mean
on purpose.
On purpose.
Yeah, I've also heard a lot of Rudy Gobert can't make shots around the rim too.
Well, it's funny because when you watch and you actually see Rudy seal off his defender, and then you see Donovan Mitchell, hoist a 25-footer, it's kind of hard not to call D Mitch out, right? Like,
yeah, but
like go ahead.
To the point, I've never been a fan of blaming the player, just for the whole team's success. And this type of because when you look at the Hawks, no one moves off ball. It's not just Trae Young. No one moves off ball. You have two people in the corner and they stand there until the shot is taken. Movement, no backdoor cut. So that's a system thing. Trae Young is just playing his role in the system, unfortunately.
Yes, no, I understand. And I've never said anything to the other point. My issue is there's still a lack of accountability for the person who's supposed to be the best player and the leader of your team.
Oh, no, there's accountability. Well, yeah.
Right. So that's my issue. And like it only compounds the fact that, and I've said that as a total player, I have DeJounte Murray ahead of Trae Young because he affects all aspects of the game, offense, defense, and transition. When you have to give Trae the ball so Trae can feel like Trae, it literally neutralizes the entire offense. So at some point, Trae has to be like, I need the ball less in my hand.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's the ultimate position that this offense is designed for. And he has so far not really been 100% in. I'm not saying that he should because I don't think Nate McMillan is the guy. Like, I've been saying that last year. So I'm with you on that. My issue is he's still the best player. He's still the leader. And right now, all we're hearing is John Collins is going to be traded, right? Bogey is a shell of himself. They're fighting with the coach. Schlink is slinking away. So Landry Fields comes in. Landry Fields is not Nick McMillan's GM. So, like, all we have coming out is bad. So, like, the media is going to seize on that.
True.
But, and he is the player, so he's going to get the blame. That's just how the game works. And the issue is this time he's shooting 41% instead of 46%. This time, he's shooting 31% from three instead of 38%. He's still only giving you 27 points despite the increase in volume. So now not only do you have the circumstances coming out of Atlanta, you've got him in a rut, and it looks bad. So here we are.
Yeah, I can't rock with it because, everyone has their slumps. His just happened to be the first month and a half of the season.
It was nasty, too.
Yeah, it was. I mean, hey.
Yeah, it was horrible.
It was nasty.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
All right, where are you on DeAndre Hunter?
DeAndre Hunter exactly has that described him. I mean, he's good on defense. I remember seeing a stat where when he matches up with an all-star, they have I'm pretty sure below 40% field goal percentage. I can't remember the stat exactly, but he's not horrible. He's not what we want him to be. He's not the number 4 pick that we thought he would be.
I feel you. All right, I'm going to move on. I got to get some other voices in here. We only got about 9 minutes left. I just want to remind everybody that I said it was going to take DeAndre Hunter 18 shots to get to 20, similar to Kelly Oubre. John Collins' best season was 21 points on 15 shots. Just saying.
Give me Kyle Kuzma.
It's a crime of what's happened to John Collins. We'll go to Adaris. We got 90 seconds for you. Making sure it's 90, or I'm going to end up hitting the mute. Then we'll go to Alex, and then we'll clean up with last thoughts with Malika Walker and Nat Bleacher Dave. Everybody, thank you. Go ahead, Adaris.
Shout out to you, Chris. Thanks for having me up here. I'm just going to make this a little quick. The offense of the Hawks is very inconsistent at times. It's very disappointing to say the least. I think Nate kind of doesn't make any adjustments in games. To you guys' point, I think someone mentioned it in the chat about, let me just read his name, rare dominance. Yeah, sorry. I'm kind of just woke up recently. So just straight off ball, when he catches it, he doesn't attack right away. And it's kind of that's what kind of makes their offense stagnant. That's the reason why the offense is kind of in the late 20s and offensive rating. The offensive scheme is so simple. I just wish that they kind of moved the ball off ball. In terms of the trades, I think Miami Cavs, the Raptors should be the one that should be actively in trades in the East. Miami needs a power forward. Toronto needs a center that can protect the rim, and a guard someone like a Clarkson, someone like a player that can go downhill in certain parts of the game, and it can help our offense